Hello, stream. We're back. It's been a while. It is Halloween. As you can see, I got a little bit festive, and I also got a special guest with me. Lucky to be joined by ThinUnclePhil, coach for Blue Water, and someone that's been streaming a lot, actually, of late. How's that been going for you, and welcome to the stream, Uncle Phil.
Hello. It's been going really nice. I mean, we started with like 7 to 10 viewers, and we're going up to 30 now, depending on the day. And more and more players like join, which is really good for conversation. Otherwise, I'm kind of talking to myself. So
Yeah.
it's been pretty fucking nice recently. Sorry for the curse. I'm gonna try
No,
to keep those out.
no, you're good. You can say whatever you want. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's the fun of me. Like when I do some of these reviews, especially of the NACL games, like having you guys come in and at least like give your thoughts if something went good or bad, or I missed something, or if like something looks terrible, and it's like, oh yeah, we just forgot about this. You know, it's sometimes just nice to have the extra context. So, anyway, I've been enjoying them too. I've been pretty busy the last couple weeks, which is why this review is late. But yeah, excited to dive into the games as always, guys. I'll have Uncle Phil's info below, so follow him on Twitter and Twitch. Also follow me everywhere at CubbyXX. And then feel free to like, comment, and or sub. Helps the channel a lot. That's it. All right, into Game 1 draft. All right, so going into this series, I really liked how Weibo was drafting. I'm not sure like what your diagnosis was, but what were your expectations going into this one?
Expectations was to have like a fun series, but usually when I have like a inside of a region best of series, I kind of think it's like a lot more predictable because it's like a lot less surprises. So I did expect BLG to like lock it out for sure. I just expected to have, regardless, even if it was 3-0, I expected every single game to be close is the thing. Like I didn't expect games to just like fall apart at all because I thought Wave was really good at the map and stuff. But I think BLG not just figured them out, like they did a little bit more than that. So that's why the series felt a little bit not competitive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I did expect an extremely competitive series, surely, like 100%.
Yeah. I think it's a good read. My difficulty going into semis was, I mean, somewhat similar to you. I felt like domestically, these matchups are really one-sided for BLG and then Genji versus T1. But at this tournament, I thought like Weibo and T1 were the teams that were better on tape. I think I tweeted out that I had Weibo like 55-45 in this, and then T1 65-35 in the other series. I was kind of bummed that Weibo didn't step up to where I thought they were going to be at. But anyway, all right, Game 1 draft. I mean, first thing I'm recognizing is that Knight's getting Silas denied, and then Rakan, no more Rakan for on this tournament, which I think that T1's definitely going to keep the Rakan ban as they go into BLG in the next series. And then a lot of the circles taken away from Weibo as they've been using them pretty well. I'm surprised, though. Like, I like the Yone pick. Obviously, Yone is really strong in this tournament, but I feel like when you have Jack, Skarner, and Smolder up, Yone is really hard to first pick.
I think just the Skarner part is definitely like a crazy camp, and then like it depends what you're gonna trade for it.
Yeah.
I think the Orianna Aurora is like the most important thing to notice in the draft, as in the quarters. Basically when Weibo beat LNG, Xahu played one of those champions every single game. There was a single game on another champ. So he did look like really decent on them and like very, very good. Whereas in this series, he looked much worse outside of them. I think like that was definitely like really important for the game itself. Because usually on Red, what you expect to see is some sort of like Yone, Skarner, you know, like just band of brokens. That's kind of what we've been seeing, especially like for example in the combine, right? Not that you should relate, but still, like something like this was expected. Yet BLG just completely flipped it and just left everything open and target banned Weibo, which I liked really like. I liked it a lot. Because what you're doing is like if B1 Skarner, you're giving up essentially like I know the Skarner is going into the jungle, right? So hypothetically, even if I go like Yone Jax R1 R2, I can like R3 Sejuani and I'm always gonna be happy, or I can R1 R2 Yone Sejuani and I'm already happy again. So, like there is like a lot of those, which is why I think that they had like a very decent plan into whatever Weibo was gonna do. But I did think that Weibo is gonna still like. I mean, yeah, I think Jack's Skarner is too ridiculous, especially considering we saw the Smolder into Yone function very well every single time.
Yeah.
So to me, that was really crazy. That was avoided. Like.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I learned. We were having discussions in past reviews where if both Yone and Skarner were up, I would prefer the Skarner side, I think, at this point of the tournament, just with where this champion's at. I will say that Tarzan's, like, Weibo's not the team to do this, though, so I think it is a good gut check read from BLG. I also really like the Maokai ban for what you were pointing out, because that is, like, the one control champ that Tarzan was playing really well that's doing magic damage, and after this, I really liked how Tarzan was playing both carries. and supportive junglers in this. It was their biggest strength in summer as a team, Weibo. And having the Brand, like, I do think that Brand's a good pick here, but by taking the Maokai away, like, it takes away the supportive magic damage option from the jungle, right? So you're kind of forcing him on carries, and this ends up being a little bit of a hodgepodge comp, because for me, Weibo doesn't have a good way to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I don't think they have engage, and I
Yeah.
don't really think the anti-engage is particularly useful here.
Yeah.
The way I thought about it, like I don't know, for me, if you're gonna leave Skarner open and like this Yon Smolder trade, you have to go the Sejuani route, or at least like I mean, I'm gonna say a stupid champ like for example Elise, just off of the idea of like if you isolate Smolder versus Yon is never gonna have a good time. Like it's
Yeah.
just not how it works. Like if you have Sejuani, you can threaten the Smolder, and then it kind of makes sense. But if you go Yon B1, give Jack Skarner for example, you know Smolder is coming, doesn't really matter, and then you force Kalista Renata without enabling your jungle to play anything like that, like then it starts really hard to me. So I don't really know how they play, like why they force the Kalista Renata that much. So that to me was a bit weird.
Yeah,
in that sense.
I don't know either. I also really like the fact that we had Poke Varus here, because I know this is a pick that was getting a lot of play actually in the Americas tournament as an answer to Ziggs, and it was nerfed on this patch, but I think it's still really good. And I mean, this game you have a team that can deal with Poppy, and Poke Varus deals really well with everything else. So I actually really like this adaptation from BLG. Like just having the double marksman and having one just be the bridge and supportive of Smolder, I thought was good. So yeah, BLG draft was. I mean, sadly, this might have been the best Weibo draft, if we're going to be honest, too.
Yeah, kinda, yeah, not wrong.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think the Poppy is hard, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I think Poppy is like really good into Jax. I really think the champion is just broken, to be fair. Like
Yeah.
I genuinely think this champion is just broken. So I was still happy to see the Poppy, but yeah, I do think so as well. I think there was a way to win this game, let's say that. Like this
Yeah.
game was absolutely winnable for Weibo, like 100% at all times.
Yeah. I agree. And yeah, So, I mean, one big thing I learned was the fact that if you have, like, all these champs on the board, especially someone in chat said Xiaohu doesn't really play Smolder domestically. If you go the Yone route, I mean, this top side is just really strong, like, off the bat. Also, Jax takes away the scaling from the Yone, right? Because I've been joking that at some point Jax just hits economic victory, right? And you just end up winning. Can we get in the
Which
game?
is good on the side, yeah. But if Yon gets really far ahead, then Jax doesn't really win.
Right.
Which we saw in like when Caps was playing against, I don't remember what team, when they lost AJLE, I think. His Yon was 4 items and the Jax could not stop it. So
Yeah.
it just depends on gold a bit.
I've been pausing for runes. I don't know if you have anything you want to talk about or like biases. At this point, everything is like kind of stock standard for the tournament.
I don't see anything weird, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anything weird.
Normal.
My one bias is that I really like when people are able to greed conditioning and overgrowth. Like these 2 points just have so much value later on. And then I will say I am biased with the blue tree for Tarzan. I don't like red trees that much on brand. I actually really like blue tree.
I don't have a strong opinion on that because I think electric is fine, but I also think blue tree is better outside of the keystone. So I think it's kind of like whatever.
Right.
Don't really mind it.
Okay.
So lane swaps are going to be important in these games. The way that I thought about it is basically teams prioritize the grubs over the Drake. So like even though when you see Kalista Renata, you think about Drake stacking. These teams tend to just swap, play the other side, and like obviously it fixes some matches, but mainly it's the idea of getting grubs or like getting top pressure and stuff. For me, I don't really like what they did. I think Kalista Renata. Okay, to be fair, like Kalista Renata sounds really good, but then the other side is Varus Nico, right? So you're just trying to avoid the matchup a little bit. But I think even if the matchup like isn't great, I think if you don't stack Drakes, you can't imagine to outscale Red Team, I believe. Like if you don't have a win con until like 20 some minutes, like I don't see how you win late game.
As Weibo?
So I think if you willingly, so I think if you give like first Dragon, you're just giving them time to scale, and then there is a Smolder Jax Skarner. Like how do we actually win later? Like that part to me did not make sense too much. But I do understand the swap of like holy shit, Varus Nico is a bit of a problem in 2v2.
Okay. I agree with that. I have had a little bit of beef with how teams have been swapping. I think the one positive here with Weibo is so like one of the things that I haven't enjoyed is leeching XP off mid. I think sometimes it's not always necessary. I think the one like real positive of the swap that we end up getting is that the Renata plus the Yone actually really helps Yone in the early levels against Smolder. And the Jax can't really do anything here. I would have preferred if BLG tried to play out 3 lanes from the start and just kind of had the Jax like try and hold his HP bar, but maybe try and like sneak the melees, which I know is kind of tough, but I thought the NA teams were pretty much picking top laners that could start in lane on the swap, and they would soak XP, and that was actually really helping them in these games to get ahead. And other teams were picking it up in the tournament.
Yeah, I think there is like a lot of like because small leads in lane swaps matter a lot. It's like you get
Yeah.
3 CS, that's actually quite a big difference when it
Yeah.
comes to lane swaps. So yeah, I do agree with that. I think Kalista is like one of those that you don't really want to risk it for the biscuit against because she will one-shot you. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit more sus on that end. But I think there is like the lane swap problems are like also like Brand is not the best level 1 champ in the game.
Yep.
So a lot of other things are gonna like go a little bit wrong for Weibo in that side.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously willingly giving up plates and stuff on bot lane when you do the lane swap, if you're like for the most part.
Yeah,
Because
I
you're
mean,
never
that's
gonna
fine.
figure them down.
That's fine, though.
Yeah.
I think at this point, I mean, we all kind of called it when the patch was coming out that the lane swaps were not nerfed enough, and people are fine sacking the gold to get a better setup.
Yeah. You don't care about the gold at all. Even like you only care about what matchups and like that part of the game is the only thing you care about really. So there's that.
Also, the fact that Jun gets the 3 topside camps is kind of illegal here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's
yeah.
why I said like the Brand thing is like not real. Like you're
Yeah.
trying to lane swap and stuff, but like Brand cannot go into the Skarner jungle level 1. And
Yeah.
I think they wanted to push 2 because they thought Poppy Kalista is insane dive, like of course. I think they thought they can actually one-shot him under tower, but like obviously that was just not true. And then yeah, it just didn't go well. Because I think Poppy Kalista can level 1 dive basically any champ in the game. Maybe not Jax because of the E, but that's
Right.
basically a problem I think here. And now once Renata comes, like not that hard. If he says that's why he leaves. But he already got his level, so
Yeah.
it's not that bad.
He did burn TP,
think-
which is like the one bummer, right? Because now
but
he's
if
got
Poppy-
to walk back.
Yeah, and if Poppy TPs, she can die to Varus Nico. It's not possible, so he's gonna be really happy with this.
Yeah, nice TP from Breathe to get 3. Bin flashes back into the lane, so he's able to soak the XP. I think it's worth. Like, he's already behind. He kind of needs to keep up. So I'm fine with that.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think the flash matters too much. I think getting the XP is so much better.
Yes.
For sure. But I just like the outcome is like blue team kinda has a net average like lead on XP.
Yes.
Because I think they do, but I also think red has a goal advantage, so it's like it's pretty neutral. I like either side.
And then this just goes disastrously.
Yeah, okay, yeah, this is
Yeah, Light didn't drop aggro, Crisp autos again, so they just choke the dive.
and this is like really not hard to do once.
Yeah. Breathe played this very well. There's not much that Breathe can do. I guess he just lives.
Yeah, it's just the tanking matters. No, he will always live. I think the problem is like Elk starting to tank instead of June is also like unlucky a little bit.
Yeah.
I think if June tanks, can you go back? I think this is actually a really funny like interaction. So can you pause right before it switches from 1 to Elk? The tower. So
yeah.
It's very near leaving the range. Pause here. So I think here the problem is actually really funny. It should go to June, obviously. The problem is it targets the closest person. And it's just the way it's
Varus is
calculated.
closer.
Elk is just a little bit closer at that timer,
man.
which is why he picks up aggro. It's so unlucky. Because if it's watches June, like that's fine. Elk can keep hitting, gets the kill, and June can flash out. And it's actually Joe dive. Like June can tank a lot of tower shots, but it's just the millisecond that like Elk is under tower and he just gets hit.
Yeah.
He's just closer to what's considered the center of the tower,
Yeah.
and then it's a problem. Super unlucky.
I will say that, A, holding flashes, nice from BLG, and B, good W from Breathe. Like, that's the one aspect where you do actually get a little bit of outplay. He did time it well, right? He tanked a lot of damage with the biggest nuke from the Varus, so he at least did that. But still, this is a bit of a tragedy for Weibo, the fact that top lane went the way it did, and now with Breathe being forced out, there's no longer this big lead against the Jax. So, and now, like, in this scenario, there's no way that you can touch this wave. Like, Bin's going to get this wave in.
Yeah, they're going to lane like this because it doesn't really matter now. You're only playing for... Basically, your economy is kind of fucked. Like, red team is just going to be ahead in gold. There is nothing you can do about that. And you can't really get back the XP because if you fix the matchups, Varus Nico still beats Kalista. Like, this didn't change at all.
Yeah.
And Poppy can never actually pressure the Jax, which also didn't change at all.
Right.
So you just have to play for the neutral that you want.
Yeah.
More than anything.
And they have Light on top side, so they're forced to play the Brand Grubs. And I will also say that something I've really been looking out for is like having elongated moments where like we keep lanes a certain way and like who's getting solo XP in these swap scenarios, because That's something that TL was ahead of and doing really well was funneling Kaisa in these lane swap scenarios because like that champ just scales, it's disgusting with every level you get and XP advantages. So here, like I really favor the Jax getting solo XP and the Varus Nico splitting. I don't really care about poke Varus levels later on, right? I mean, if he gets ahead, that's great, but I'd rather have my side laner ahead to just open up the map and make sure that Smolder's always safe.
I thought any teams were very good at swaps. Like
Yeah,
especially
I
TL.
thought so
I think they
too.
was very good.
Yeah, like they were ahead of the meta a lot throughout the year, and then even at Worlds too.
It looked pretty good every time they swapped. Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree.
no, I
It's
was
kind of also nice. Yeah. Sorry, go.
I was really with the starting in lane level 1. I thought that was a big difference. Like that they were just drafting top laners and having top laners start in lane. Like just take those first 3 melee creeps because even if you die to the dive, like Blippa did a few times, you still get the TP back, and they're forced to pull off 2 dives, right? And if you're going up against like Sion, Urgot, Cassante, Jax, like the champs of Impact we're playing to, even like a Rumble, that's hard. I think Rumble he was swapping, but Rumble level 1 is actually really big. Okay.
This is just a swap from BLG. They don't want to ever give the grubs. I still think they could have went for the Drake, but they do want to like play for the. They don't want to punish the Jax too much. After we
Yeah.
see the swap.
And it ends up being a 2-for-1. If you think about like the fact they snag 1 here is nice. They don't. I think one of the few ways that BLG can drop this game is if they do give up 6 grubs and they just get Yone in the side lane, right? But
Yeah, I mean, it also opens cross map is the problem. Like the
right,
reason why you don't want to give 6 grubs is because then the leads that you have per lane are like not gonna matter because blue can overload sides and
right.
just ignore some of the matchups. Like Varus Nico is bot. Okay, we'll just 5-man bot. I don't care.
Mhm.
And now you can't really do that if you don't get 4. Like
Right.
if you tie it out, then you can't really force that.
Yeah. And also, I mean, like A, that opens up the playbook for Weibo, and B, if that play's not available, the side lane matchups are pretty nice for BLG, right? Like Jax just wins in isolation, and then you can always play to the Smolder side, and it's okay.
Yeah. And this is something that like obviously is not easy to do in the combine,
Mhm.
but this is something that is important in the combine where it's like invest people where there is an objective, and this is something that has been very trendy into world semis. Like understandably Poppy is taking shit up, yeah, it's
Mhm.
true. Like it's a fact, but you shouldn't effectively play away from the objectives. Like BLG dropped some bot stuff to go to the grubs, contested grubs. Then the 5-man bot side dropped some top stuff to get
Mhm.
the Drake and to get bot side control. And it's like really important to notice that like this is how you actively play the game on your terms rather than give up ground and then like have to respond to what the enemy is doing. Like this way, they're forcing everything. Like every rotation, anything that happens is on the team that's like stronger. Now Jax will TP, he won't bleed that much, but the control that they've gained on bot lane now is just there.
Yeah.
It's not gonna go away.
Yeah, the
This is like a really
Varus
good.
being ahead, I know I was talking about like Varus XP, it's okay how he was the one in the dual lane, but if you get Varus ahead in gold with how cheap his items are and like how early he spikes, he is really oppressive. So I like how BLG like very intentionally kind of help Elk. And then I know that there's a play later on where Weibo gets nothing from it, and Elk just gets a straight up turret, and it's very bad. Because then Varus gets ahead, and Varus is like really oppressive. Then it's really hard to like, be able to fight on good conditions before the Smolder hits 225, which I really like from like I thought BLG had a really good idea of how to play this comp, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I think both teams actually did okay. I think Weibo also had like like I already said this earlier. Like I think in a tweet or something.
Mhm.
Weibo genuinely played the map like really well. Like this open, for example,
Yeah,
is also really good.
yeah.
Like this open is something that I've talked about a lot on my stream actually. And this idea is basically you don't when you have a champ that you just don't want a weak side, but there is grubs in the game. Like just don't weak side it. Like right now, Kalista Renata like could technically stay bot and like get perma dived and bullied and stuff, or they can full swap to top and they give this tower. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But if I get 6 grubs because of it, I'll just take a tower back eventually, and it's fine. Because like just being weak sided doesn't do anything. Like you won't touch that wave anyway. You won't like clear it. It doesn't matter.
Your conditions
So
are
might as
bad.
well actually that.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Willingly giving up something so you can actually get an aggressive thing on the map is much better than unwillingly losing something. Because now they hit 5 grubs for free because of this. It was so good.
Yeah.
Like that was a very very good move.
And
And now look,
I mean,
Varus is late, and now Kalista pisses B.
yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I like that point a lot because this is also from the fact that BLG just used that with Bin, right, to set up bot lane being bad conditions and to set up that chunk bot lane. This is the play, though,
Yeah.
like, for me, where we're just going to... Like, Varus gets a lot of free time here in this game. I feel like that was a big issue for Weibo.
Well, you have to leave it because that's again the idea.
Yeah.
The idea is now you're gonna hit bot. Like this is really good. This is what I was talking about. Now you have 5 grabs. So this guy's gonna get top tower, yes, but you're gonna lose
You
that anyway if
match.
you're 2v2
Yeah.
because you're gonna get bullied. But now you avoid it and you just play the other side and you just like take another tower. And now if Varus stays, you're gonna lose tier 2 because I just have triple your pushing power with my grubs. So I get first tower gold. Like okay, obviously first tower was not on bot, which is the problem.
Mhm.
But either way, like this is the best way to play the like unmatched situations. Like Kalista cannot play against this Varus. So like this, now look, yeah, you took top tower, great. Like he's really happy with this, obviously.
Mhm.
But
But
instead
they
of
get
somebody
inner
now they
2.
got 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
this was really good. It was really good from Weibo.
this is what I was talking about. Exactly this thing. Like
Yeah.
when you get 5 grubs, you have the option to just open up a lane and not care about it, which is has its negatives.
Mhm.
But if you think the matchup is bad and you're gonna lose it anyway, might as well lose it willingly and get something else.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah.
No defending that anyway. And now you have like the problem is how the gold is separated. That I will agree to you. The
Mhm.
problem is like Varus got a lot, and Kalista didn't really. Like
Yeah.
Poppy did, but Kalista didn't, and that's just bad. But that's different reasoning. And now again, see, for here one mid, look at bot. Bot is open,
Yep.
and this is something that I really really like, and I hope to see more and more. And this also makes me think that nobody in the combine watches Worlds because it's so obvious, yet it never happens. So.
I think part of it is also just a good understanding of like Brand as a champ. Like for me, Brand's actually really strong in these scenarios.
Yeah.
Like being able to overload and just have a turret you're sieging. If you're able to jail them, like I mean, you
I
can't
mean,
get pressed on. It's really good. And
any
this is a
small
free
fighting
timer.
spaces like this is also
Yeah,
really
like when
good.
you open a lane like all the way up the way that Weibo did, and you seesaw the map like this. I mean, yes, did you sack bot turret? But like, yes, you did. But then you can be there a wave later, right? You don't have to catch it immediately. So like that actually, like the fact they did lose that bot outer, it does open up like this play to play on 2 waves, right?
Yeah, they got the
Yeah.
grubs for it, and then they got pushed bot deep, and then they reset open top. Now by the time Bin hits the tower 2, like these guys are gonna be done with this one, so it's like never worth for Bin to keep pushing.
Yeah.
Which is why they have to defend. That's why I said like Weibo moved the real nice. Now this is the biggest problem. Herald is a make or break objective.
Mm-hmm.
It's one in the map, and you can't trade it. Trading for Drake is losing. Herald is just better. So this is the biggest problem where you can't give Herald, which is why we see this like Omega contest by everyone. Because you just can't give this objective. It's too broken. Like if one team gets it and the other team doesn't, like it's just so bad for the game. That's why we see this. I would rather lose the game on Herald than not like get to play it at all. Is the point for either comp. So that's why we see like this contest. And if it looks really bad, then they're gonna drop it, right? But nobody's gonna give it for free ever.
I see that, like, to me that's interesting because from BLG shoes, I think I'm okay trading Herald for
For
Drake.
what? That's the problem.
I mean,
For just Drake?
you trade down with Drake, but you do buy 5 minutes for Smolder, and your
Yeah.
later game is really nice. Like for me, I don't want to fight in this trough. I to be fair to Knight too, I mean he's doing a good job of like getting his resources, but I still feel like this would be a trough for BLG, and I'm okay fighting out of it or trying to find an elongated scenario where L can poke, which is kind of what they just did, which was nice.
Yeah, like it's not about getting it yourself. It's more about you shouldn't let the enemy get it because you have like this Varus is really strong. Triforce
Yeah.
in mid.
Yeah.
You have a lot of tools, and Nico is really strong in that fight, right? Like you still
Okay.
have a very good like 4v4, 5v5. So just like I am just not gonna let you have it. I don't really care. I am just like I just don't want you to get it. And if
Not
they
for
can trade
free.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, and if you get traded, but then Bill is already on bot tier 2, then I don't disagree with you. Because if I get bot tier 2 and Drake, then like I can argue against the Herald, right? Then it's kind of fine.
Okay.
But if somebody gets 6 grubs and Herald, then all you get is Dragon, like that just like looks really bad. But yeah, you contest this, and now look at how the waves look. So Bin has pushed 17 waves into bot lane. Now by the time you defend bot, like somebody's gonna push mid, you're gonna lose Drake. So like it now it's kind of more logical. Like
Yeah.
now it's like okay.
Okay.
And I also wasted like 3 extra minutes on
Yeah.
the Herald.
This is like one of the reasons why I don't think like I really like Varus, like especially poke Varus and on red side. Because I mean, your access to both sides of the map and like impacting that grubs fight, like unironically in that small wall, it matters way more, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and then you always get mid prio, so like the big wall doesn't matter, and getting into where he's at now is like just a really really strong point to hold.
Yeah, I agree. Now you just have to defend the Herald. There isn't
Yeah.
anything complicated. Like you just have to press S in front of wherever you think Herald is gonna go and just like hold. If you're blue team, you just want to get rid of this mid tower because you don't want Varus to be locked in on mid lane and just perma clear waves.
Yeah.
So if you can, you want to take the mid tower. That's
Yeah,
it.
I think this is a game where Rift mid makes a lot of sense to me. Like, as long as his tower's up, Varus is like, it does matter for Varus. He just can never be pressured.
You can't flank it, like Poppy loses
Yeah.
an angle. Like, you
Yeah.
just can't give this, like, you have to herald this tower. And Red Team is just gonna invest people into it always. They just don't care. Like, they just can't leave it happen. And if you herald top, like, these guys are gonna start smiling.
Sorry, I want to see how Weibo played the sides here. Because I saw Breathe on this wave. Which, I mean, it's fine. Like, he doesn't want to be in the long line 1v1. I will say, though, like, at this breakpoint, he would be okay.
No, he doesn't lose. It's just like he wants
Yeah.
to use the time to like
Yeah,
activate
yeah,
this
yeah,
herald.
yeah.
And this is again the same thing. 5 grubs plus herald. I want to open one side and play very heavily into the other. Problem is, I don't think this is enough.
Yeah,
I think hitting
I think
2
Breathe
charges,
needed
but
to...
only outer.
I think they fucked up their wave. Like, for me, Herald needs to be dropped on this wave, almost. It's like a wave late.
I think you should just drop it mid. Like I still.
I'm
don't
with
like
you.
It.
I'm
Even
with
if
you on that, too.
Like it's already half HP. This tower would actually die. And I don't think they will ever let you get 2 on top. That's the one I don't like. Like they will never let you
Yes.
get the tier 2. Like it's just never
Yes.
gonna happen.
I agree. I would rather see
they're
this mid. I do think, though, if you're going to drop it top, it needs to be a little bit earlier. Because, like, Breathe ends up being here for a bonus wave. Like, for me, if you drop a top on this wave, then it makes sense for Breathe to walk up. And then, like, you play mid, and then you can play top on this wave. I think they play to the wave late. It would have given BLG some time.
You lose mid tower if you go now. Like I think you have to defend this wave though. Like it's hard because like you will lose. You just lose mid tower. Like if Crisp and Light are not here, like you just lose mid tower here because
Yeah.
they will just let you take 1 tower top. They'll push mid and they'll go behind you, and then it's hard because Jax has TP.
Yeah.
It's like really hard. It's not an easy rotation, but it's just I don't like it. Like I don't know why we are forcing this top tower so much. We're never gonna get 2. Like
Yeah.
it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, like, we don't
Like,
need
this is
this
all you're
play,
gonna get.
and you could have gotten a better turret mid with 1.
Yeah, and you just lost basically your whole tower bot.
And you give Jackson inner.
That's why I don't like it. I think you could have just heralded mid and then defended your bot, and you would have like a
Yeah.
neutral game state where you don't lose both mid outer
Yeah,
and
this
bot
is
inner.
bad.
It just feels so bad.
Yeah, that hurt really bad. Like, now Elk is, like, Omega fed, too. He is so far ahead of the curve.
And Skarner being behind Brand is a joke. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like that 800 gold is really not like a thing that he cares about. He's still like mega useful.
And then this happens. I mean, I don't know
That's
what
a
Chris
funny
was
one,
doing
yeah.
here. It is
That's
unfortunately a Chris funny.
That's a 2-item Varus that we are just like walking towards. That is pretty crazy, I think.
With a spell shield. I will say I do like the spell shield because it, like, if Brand does open fights with ult, which I think is really relevant this game, and it hits the spell shield, then Brand ult just gets eaten. And that for me is a big deal, actually. That and, like, Yone being able to press R.
There is also not an easy way to proc it from blue team. They don't have like a random ability that can hit it. Like no matter what you block is important. Like unless you're getting Renata Eid, I guess. But as long as that's not happening, you're blocking something useful. So.
Yeah, 100% with you.
It's really good here, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, do you really need like Cyrildas against this? Not really. It's kind of whatever.
For
You're gonna get it 4th. Yeah, Elk is gonna get like, even if you get Cyrilda 4th, it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Tankiness on blue side.
I do like if we're gonna play Poke Ferris, I do like the Mirror Mana. I feel like if you don't go that you just are irrelevant too early in games.
This is just the Edge of Knights like trade. Like if you get Edge of Knight, you can't get Cyril down 3 because you have to go mana immune. But that's fine.
That's fine.
Like, it doesn't matter.
You have people like your job is not to deal with Poppy; it's to deal with everything else, and the team can deal with Poppy, which I thought was good logic again from BLG. Also, if we're looking at this game, I think it's fair to say, like, I mean, because BLG, like, they ended up like really prioritizing Jax like in the last 10 minutes, and it feels like Weibo just didn't play this game nearly as fast as they wanted to or needed to win this comp. Like even from this like standpoint, I think Knights at 208, like this game is so hard to win if you're Weibo right now.
Yeah, the way it works is like if you're not gonna get the Drakes, then you're just playing for a 20-something minute Baron, and to pull a 20-something minute Baron, you need to have gold, and that's where like the Herald comes in handy and the Grubs come in handy.
Right.
So you play a couple of rotations well with the Grubs, I agree, that was fine.
Yeah.
But then the Herald misplay, instead of getting something, you lost 2 towers, and that's just the game just ends because you will never pull Baron against Red Team. It's just not possible.
It did really feel that way, especially with the scaling that BLG had, and like again, their comp for me made a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's really good, and like Weibo is like it would like the thing is also like obviously like if you're a League of Legends analyst or whatever, like this looks very different, but otherwise like this game like how different it would look if Weibo actually got a lead. Like everybody would be saying, "Oh, this draft is so good," you know?
Yeah.
Because like if Weibo gets a lead and they get to play under enemy towers, like Poppy perma diving, Kalista perma diving can't touch me. Like then Weibo feels like this draft is unlosable.
Yeah.
So that's also like if you're like a casual viewer, like this game would look very different if blue team got to the gold lead off of Herald.
Yeah, the permit dives have been nice. My thing is that they just lacked a trigger pull. I think the Varus
Yeah.
really slowed them down. I thought Varus was a really good pick this game.
Yeah.
We haven't
slowed them
seen
down a
it
lot.
into Callista Renata like a lot, but I mean old school. Like traditionally, this is a very good pick into Callista Renata. You get two playstyles as an option in that matchup, and I thought BLG used it really well.
And this is like best case scenario because Breathe uses like Flash, which is the only way that Wave actually engages, and then pulls one person out of the game with ult, and then you actually win the fight. Because
Yeah.
that's what you picked Poppy for, but you're supposed to be first on objectives. Like that's what you're supposed to be, but because you're behind, you'll never be first on objectives.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to radically do this.
Yeah, I thought two things went like a little bit poorly here for BLG. One is Bin doesn't feel like he can finish this flank, and two is actually that Elk threw everything that he had into the Poppy. Again, for me, it's not his job to kill Poppy this game. I think that Knight was. I'm down with him holding that, but I actually think that where Breathe goes in was smart as hell. His Knight can't walk through and hit him. Like, yeah, Breathe smurfed this, actually. Knight can't hit him from here, and then he ends up eating everything from Elk, which, like, Elk is fed, but this is the one person that, like, you cannot deal with, and Knight wasn't autoing. Like, if Knight's there, it's playable, but Breathe bought, like, a lot of really important space.
Yeah, I mean, this card is just out in the front lane, so now everybody gets to, like, hit. But I think also, like, this is, like, for me, it was very not clear whether they won or not on the play, because the thing is you just invested Poppy, TP, Flash, everything here, and this dragon doesn't do anything because you're not closer to Soul or anything, right? So maybe what I would have wanted them to do is to actually let Red control Drake and just go into Baron and pull it here.
Okay.
I just don't know what the items were, because I think if you're gonna invest, if you have all flashes up and everything and you want to fight like this, like you should just go into Baron. The problem is look at the item spikes. You don't have any. Like you're just not spiked. Like 2 items Smolder, 2 items Varus, but you have 1.5 on mid bot, so you just can't start Baron. You're just too weak.
Smolder gets
But
225 off this fight too, which is, I mean, that's a very fast 225.
Yeah. But I would hate to like invest all my cooldowns here. Like for example, Poppy E Flash EUR. Like I would want to do that on Baron. So like I'm not 100% sure whether this is winning or not. Like it looks really good. But then you have to remember that they need to do this every fight to be like playable because they have no trigger pull, as you said.
Yeah.
And like, how many times are you gonna pull this off, really?
Yeah. No, I think it's a good point. This is the best fight they get, maybe in the series again.
Yeah. In this specific game, I think getting a better fight than this is crazy. Yeah. So.
And they did a really nice job of chasing. Like they did get the max, for real.
Yeah, they got a lot of kills. I thought Belk is gonna die too. Oh wait, there we go. My bad. And this tower dying is really important. And you got Baron, which is really good. So like this is what you want. You want Baron at 20 minutes. They got it from like obviously they went Drake and got Baron, which is like a weird sequence of events. But yeah, felt really good for them.
Is there anything else you want to go over? I mean, again, like my thing is that, I mean, Elk didn't misplay. It's just that I don't think Elk can throw everything to Breathe. And to be fair, I think BLG learns that after this fight. And then Bin gets munched in the backline by Tarzan. And then the Renata ult was really good.
I think Elk did not expect Breed to be that tanky because he has no tank items. He's like a standard Sky 0 armor target, yet he can tank all of it. But
he did finish Fimbulwinter like right before this fight. So that helps, because there is a lot of HP in this build for Poppy between the Sundered Sky and then the shields as well.
I mean, he has heal 1 time at least. It's also a lot.
Yeah, I am a fan of that Fimbulwinter item. The thing is a little OP.
I think it's good, yeah.
I think it's half. I can't. Are the Malakai's building it? Because if you're playing Malakai top, you should build it.
A Malakai top, 100% you should build it.
Yes. That shit and Frozen Heart. Oh my god.
You should 2-lane Baron 100% with like every team comp basically. But if you feel like there is a stone wall, then you should invest 5 and just try to break 1 instead of playing 2 lanes. Obviously 2 lanes are really good.
This replay went a little bit long.
It's so annoying. I hate it.
It is. Because I'm wondering if I'm down for the 2 lane of Baron, but I'm wondering if like on their deploy they could have Yone, or they could fix like get at least bot to be +1 before they end up 2 laning Baron, right? To like force another response later on.
Yeah, I mean the idea is like 2 lanes like the standard. Like definitely every single game is basically played like that. But if your team comp can't exactly siege that well, or enemy has like a annoying way to wave clear, then it's at some point in your benefit to just invest 5 into a tower and just call it a day, because you're not gonna get more.
Okay.
So you just have to pick your battles a little bit, because like here, like they obviously they try to play the 2 lane, right? And then the Smolder just makes the waves disappear, and it's like, okay, how many waves can we do this for, really?
Yeah.
Like this is the wave, mid is not synced, but like Yon can't really sync it, and Smolder just makes it disappear because he's an annoying champion. And now Yon is in mid, but he can't break Jax alone, and this 4 can't break the other 4, and now it's just annoying.
Yeah, I again really like how the various Smolder complement each other.
Yeah.
I think this pairing is really like, I would not be surprised, or I would be surprised if we saw it in finals, just because I think it might be something that it's a ban that they could hold against BLG if they wanted to, because they did perma take it away from Chovy, right? But I am kind of
But
curious
I
what
also
T1
think
bans.
Weibo skipped a lot of steps. Like if you go a little bit
Yeah.
back, like even though like I'm saying like this is like a good call, like look at pause right now. Okay, when it show, yeah, pause. Like you are okay because Baron lasts at the end of the day. Like this is 1/3 is not even gone, right? Like to me, it's really crazy that they didn't use waves in a way to actually enter the jungle at all. I think they were too afraid to fight in
Yes.
the jungle, which makes sense. But at the same time, like you're not gonna win this game magically. So you have to try, and even if it looks a little bit sus to fight in the jungle, you just like try to outplay.
I'm
Because
okay
not
with it.
entering the jungle is crazy.
Like, if you have Brand, you should be okay with jungle fights for me.
Yeah, but it's just if you're not, it doesn't change anything. You know, like
Yeah.
you're not comfortable. Yeah, like boo-hoo. It is what it is. Like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna win? Like, you can't not control enemy between mid and top, yet try
Yeah.
to play those 2 lanes. And like, if you look till the end of the play, like Red will have all the vision, all the control, and then of course Yon can't walk up. Like, you didn't get any control, because the idea of this top wave should be that they can enter the jungle when people show on top wave, right? Like that's the idea of the top wave.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't actually go into the jungle, then what's the stop wave purpose? Like we are walking this wave in. How does Yon walk the wave in? We don't see anyone.
Yeah, in a way, that's why I'm kind of down for a different open from Weibo, and why I was talking about getting bot +1. Because like, if you get all waves +1, and then you just shift to playing 2 lanes after, right? They would need to have
You can push bot on.
they would need to have the Kalista Renata mid for that. But if they do that, then you do have the option of like, all right, guys, we're gonna play top mid, or we're gonna play bot mid, right? I think the clear option here is top mid. But it would at least like be a way to get everyone to show there, because then if someone shows to fix bot, then you know that you can walk up, right? If you have prio and you already have like the pop Arione walking from bot. So I think that's a good call. Weibo for sure skip steps here. And I mean, once BLG survives this, the game is super back in their favor too.
Yeah, like look how easy it is. Like BLG
Yeah.
has need to use a single brain cell. They see everyone and they just press S in front of them, and that's it.
Yeah. And they just they throw out their range spells. Like, who cares that they burn 2 ults? Baron's dead.
There is 3
Yeah.
control wards in the top side that are all red. There is nothing blue in the top side.
I will say,
red buff.
I will say this is something like that I was talking about earlier on. I actually do want your perspective on this, because with the map changes, something that I was noticing is something at FlyQuest I really like from them. They actually deployed top to mid, or like they'll deploy through top a lot, because if you go through top, it's a lot harder to get flanked. So like, if you clear that side of the map and then go into mid from there, you actually take away like a lot of the angles. And in this case, we actually do see the inverse. It's a lot harder to get out of top lane. Like for you as blue side in this scenario, when you get it +1, right? Like compared to the other team, which is like, I mean, they skipped a step. Like, look at how much faster BLG can get here than Weibo too. Like that's actually for me a big deal with the map changes. And like, the map is still mirrored. It's just mirrored in a different way. And this is like one way where I feel like you can kind of abuse it. And why I don't like the top deploy.
On Baron, you're talking about on Baron opening through the side? That's the exact specific?
Yeah, so like a lot of times, like I saw FlyQuest. I can draw my screen on stream. Like you won't see it, but if I draw a line through river, right? So they would get top to +1. So like they would just make sure it's like, that's how they would deploy. They would deploy through top and get it +1, because that was a way to ensure that like they just don't get flanked. Because it's really hard to get flanked if you're in like the top lane, just given the big walls that you have around you, right? And then so like that's how they'd enter the map, and then they'd play from there, because they ensured that they at least had that flank covered, and everything else should be in front of them in some of the drafts they played. They were doing this a little bit with like their Urgot comps.
Right. I mean, I think opening through the side, especially when you have Baron, is actually like something that also G2 does, for example, a
Uh-huh.
lot. I think you open through the side because it's also even just inherently it's less angles because there is less lanes. Like there
Yes.
isn't a lane above you, so it's just
Yes.
one less angle no matter what. But I do think that like okay, that's all fair, but I do think it's like it's not connected to whether you should enter the jungle or not, right? Like
Yes.
we agree
Yes.
on that.
Yes.
That
Yes.
doesn't
Yes.
change anything. But
This was a bit
otherwise,
of an
yeah,
aside. Like of like the
yes,
I've
yes.
just noticed this from FlyQuest, and I find it interesting because like where the map changes are at, right?
Yes, this was exactly something I was pointing out. I think yesterday, because I also watched the VoD reviews on C.GG,
Yeah.
and coach explained like if you look at where Jax is on the pause screen, like a coach was saying that they should open 0-4-1 and then go through there into the jungle behind the red buff. So we're talking about red team entering the red side jungle of blue team.
Got it.
Yeah, and I think that that area is like somewhere I do not want to walk in. But if I can open through bot lane and go below the dragon pit, that's so much easier to enter. Like it's so much easier to get control of the jungle through there and just open 0-1-4 and just play through bot, which is what every pro team does. And this is exactly what Weibo is doing, except for the
Yes.
whole part that they
They
don't actually enter
yeah,
the jungle.
mid's not even. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I
got
hate
top to
entering through mid.
yeah, because top's at +1 and then mid is even, and now top is I mean it's again at +1, but they play mid to +2, and that kind of
Yeah,
fucks them. If they don't play mid to like I do think Xiaohu fucks up here. Like he has nothing to do with
he
the
was too
fact that
far.
they skipped the step. Like it did put him in a tough spot. He just wasn't able to get what he went for because they skipped the step.
Well, if they skip a step, this still is on you to adapt to the situation, right? Like at the end of
Yeah.
the day, who knew
Yes.
that they
Yes.
skipped the
Yes.
step,
Yes.
so just
Yes.
get out, bro. Is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It's still on him, but if they do it better as a team, then
Yeah. It would look better 100%.
yeah, for
But yeah,
sure.
this Baron was like stopped in its tracks because they just
Yeah.
did not, they could not do anything with it. And now it's so hard because you're not getting another Baron, I think.
No, I really appreciate how liberal BLG was with using their ults in the top lane for like Smolder and Varus, because I feel like that was a very good understanding of hey,
And break the
if
siege
we
a
chunk
bit.
if we just chunk Brand or like we just take away like Callista R, what can they do? And then we're just in the poke scenario, you know, where at this point Smolder is just a fucking devilish champion. This godforsaken champ
The champion is a problem.
is. I mean, I even like this angle from Weibo, by the way. I thought this was actually a decent play from
It's,
Weibo.
it's one of the very few things you can do. You just gotta keep being creative. There is
Yeah.
no way to start a fight normally, so
Yeah.
see if you can cheese something. And this is another one of like Red Team's ideas of, well, yeah, you're gonna get this dragon, but like I am the one that scales. You're not gonna get to 4 dragons. Like I'm not gonna let you get to 4 dragons.
Right.
So you wanna give me another 10 minutes of scaling? I'm down. And this was really good for Xiaohu, by the way. I watched this. I thought that he should have E'd earlier. I think he griefed, but I think blowing Varus Flash with nothing is so good. Because here I thought I mean obviously he wants to blow Flash, right? He's not going
Yeah.
for a kill, and he actually does manage to blow the Flash at some point.
Yeah.
Because even if he dies, what can BLG take?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I like the fact he got Varus Flash. That was a good angle.
So I think there you just play for the Varus Flash always, and even the cleanse, right? And in 1 minute Baron spawns.
I mean,
and now you're just so
again,
happy.
again, credit to Weibo with how they played the map. They got bot all the way in, which helped them ensure a safe Drake. And that last sequence, they did take like Chris traded Flash for Flash with Knight. That's huge. You have Renata and your support versus a Smolder Flash, and then they get Varus Flash, both sums for free.
Yeah.
So it was
They got
actually a
both
really good
sums right in
sequence.
front of Baron.
Yeah, it was a really
Yeah.
good sequence.
Summoner's econ at this level matters so much.
Oh yeah.
'cause those-
Especially in this draft, like with these two champs. Yeah. Flashless against Yone. That's a big
And now
deal.
Poppy just needs to have Flash at like. If she doesn't have Flash, you just don't play the game until she does, and then you play the game.
I mean, Weibo conditions are really good here. I really like the fact they hit this. I really like the fact they insta hit this.
Maybe they have to. Like this is the only way to win. So
Yes,
it's gonna be hard, but
agree.
it's not gonna get better. Like you just blew sums on mid AD. You have Yonuld, you have Poppy Flash. It's just about how you play it now, and that's it. Go. Find Bin on the side. Huge Renata space.
It is nice. The issue is that Elk was at least able to blow his load. So, I mean, they took a lot of damage from Varus. Yeah. And with that plus Baron damage, like BLG, they again survive a tough timer. I still really appreciate the idea though from Weibo to insta hit
Yeah, I
that.
mean, Blue didn't even burn any sums. It's nothing. They just
Yeah.
burnt Blissed ult and Renata ult, which realistically is not game ending, so they can like pull it again technically.
Good defense
Obviously,
though
didn't
by
like.
BLG. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Blue Team predicted this is gonna go like this. Like when they went for the play, they expected it to go much better, and then it just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Xiaohu gets stuck. If Xiaohu doesn't get stuck here,
Yeah,
it gets a lot better. Watch
and
Bin
just
though.
Bin is really creative. Yeah,
He sidesteps the brand W. Like this is so filthy actually.
I remember that. Yeah,
Like he sidesteps this, still gets this with a character model, but he dodged brand W just cause fuck it, why not? You know?
yeah.
Like
It's a reflex at this point.
oh,
100%. It's
he's
a
so
reflex.
gross, man.
Yeah, the guy's definitely like a problem.
He's so
I
good.
think.
I mean, especially on this champion, it's just yeah.
There's a lot of people that like mechanically to me are stupid in these games. Like in this like final, for example, I think there is like
Oh
10
my
people that
god,
are all
yeah, no,
mechanically
it's.
stupid.
I mean, I was talking about the final. Like I really feel like BLG, like they are T1's biggest international opponent throughout the like length of this roster. I feel like the coolest part about this game is like for me the swap to Knight for BLG was huge because for both teams on any given day, I think all 10 players can be the best in the world at the role. Like the one person who probably can't anymore is Faker, and I mean he's still Faker, right? Like and the early games that T1 have been playing are just ridiculously good this tournament.
No, I mean I'm not even I'm not so much aboard the Faker anti-train. I think
I'm
even
not either.
individually he's still I
Yeah.
think individually he's still like top 3 mid laners in the world. I
No,
don't
he's
feel like
still
the guy's
elite.
doing
It's
too
just
much.
like I mean these like some of these guys like Chovy, Knight, like Showmaker, like I mean
Yeah,
like
there is
Faker
some
is not gonna
psychopaths.
like he's not consistently handscapping them, but like in a like assassin tournament, I mean Faker is just like the best assassin player of all
Uh,
time. It's there's no comparison.
he's not gapping them, but he's not essentially gapped either. Like he's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
yeah,
I've
yeah.
never seen him get like brutalized or some shit. Like it's
No,
not
not at
happening.
this tournament.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in LPGA
Yeah,
it happens,
yeah,
but not in
not at
Worlds.
this tournament. Yeah,
Not in this tournament, indeed. Yeah, this is like a hard fight to fight. It's just very, very
it is really
difficult to
hard at
play
this
it.
point. At least they're able to pick. Like, I still like how wave. Like, I find it interesting that BLG is because of the TP they do kind of have to sack a wave like this, but like BLG just doesn't give a fuck about their size.
Yeah,
We
the
should
bot lane
about
they don't
okay.
care about. They
Yeah.
just have to play mid top aggro, and like
Yeah.
it's fine. Just keep your characters together. Don't get one shot in a team fight, and
Yeah.
then you can just keep playing. Because the length of the game does not matter to
No,
that
it does
team at
not
all.
matter.
Like BLG does not care. You can play 77 minutes. I'm always gonna feel better the longer it goes. So
Yeah.
no diff.
Well, Knight TP'd for that. That's kind of funny.
Yeah,
They still lost it.
that is pretty funny. Yeah.
And it's not terrible. It's still able to home guard out. It's just a little bit late.
It's
So
better.
they can actually get Poppy and River first, maybe, but really nice from Elk to hold
Um,
this. Really nice positioning from Elk, just really understanding his job here. Like, give Smolder to the wave. I like how Breeze goes in
and
instantly, too. I mean, I like, looking back, I actually think Weibo played this a lot better than I originally thought throughout this game.
Weibo did a good job.
Yeah, like, this game was a good
I
game,
think
actually.
Breathe Greaves. I think Breathe should install the not Q. I think Breathe pops on spell shield and he can get a double knock up there. Like if you go further back, like
Oh, like
I
he
don't
should
know
have
why.
insta-R'd?
Well, they're on top of each other. I don't know why not. Like here, why not
Oh,
R? Just R.
yeah.
Like it's a double knock up and then you can chain it with Renata ult or something, but he just doesn't. And then I don't know why. I just don't get it why. Because it looks so easy to like see.
His team's
Yeah,
not here
go ahead
yet.
now. But they're gonna be like they all have flashes up. Like Xiao who can literally EUR like and he's on them. Crispy
Yeah.
threshold. Like everybody has everything. Like why are we not like CCing them here?
Yeah.
And then he does it anyway, and they're still
Yeah,
not in
Xiaohu's
range.
not there, yeah.
He just didn't hit on.
Yeah,
Nothing else
Xiaohu
changed.
kind
I
of
don't know.
didn't
Yeah,
play
I
that
think they
well.
just didn't see it. The
Yeah,
angle, they saw it.
yeah, I'm with you. If Xiaohu's in there, it's good. It's like that's one of the
I think
few ways you can get around Varus still having flash up, right?
yeah, because if you CC
Yeah.
chain him, great. If you don't, he's gonna flash out. You're
Yeah.
gonna lose the fight anyway.
Yeah.
So might as well try to CC chain him.
Yeah. Yeah, if
Renata
something
ult is
like that
also like very
connects.
long CC.
Yeah.
Like people forget, but it's actually a lot of long time of CC. Like the Renata ult, it's hard. That's I mean decent find. Sadly on his Zonias, and once you've used your ult to kill the enemy support potentially, kind of hard to fight now. And then here BLG split up and like never were able to connect and been just yeah you just can't 1v4.
Yeah.
And then they overchase because they're chasing Breathe.
Yeah.
And at some point they kind of want to go back, but somebody makes a call to not go back, and then they overchase.
I mean, this is
It
good.
is
This
really
is good
weird.
from Xiaohu. Like again, you have to force something, and I mean,
Yeah.
he actually creates a good condition for him.
Yeah, it's just I think the decision to change this was really like weird. We're gonna lose
Yeah.
a couple of towers here.
Yeah, I mean, they lose a tower, they lose their global red buff. Like, the global buffs are a big deal at this point.
Yeah.
Actually, really nice. Really nice.
Considering how far blue is like behind right now, finding this fight is really crazy.
Yeah.
Like this is so hard. It looks simple, but it's so hard
No,
for blue to
yeah.
find anything. Like just this fight to look playable, and then this is how the game ends. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it kind of is, you know? I mean, Tarzan,
80 minutes of micro and macro
yeah,
managing to get
Tarzan just
even those
has
corner in
to,
a
he just
wall
has to
is
flash.
hilarious.
He just has to flash.
Uh,
Like, if
really crazy.
Jean, like, flashes and ults too, like, you still have your Zanyas. And you can't Zanyas here, right? Or else you'd get stuck.
You just die anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything.
Oh, man.
Once you get Eid, like the game ending
Yeah.
to me was like
It's,
really funny.
yeah, it is pretty funny.
And they actually changed CC here really hilariously
Yeah,
well for
they
Alex
did.
to die.
They did.
And then Bin is just unkillable Demon King at this
And
point.
Smolder is Smolder.
Yeah, Smolder just one shots everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there we go. Yeah. And last fight of the game was here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing is that I didn't get this R from Xiaohu, because for me, Knight's missing Flash, and like, I mean, this is just such a fish.
Oh yeah, I have no clue why he went for that either.
Yeah,
Because
like,
even if he kills
even
on,
who
even
cares
if
at
somebody
this
said
point?
no flash, I mean it does matter a single like a unit out, but like then like how much of a champ are you without ult and flash is also
Yeah.
relevant.
Like,
Because I think
how
if he
important is
thinks on, he has
Nico?
no
You
flash,
know,
it's fine.
like, I don't.
Well, it is
yeah,
important. If you get 5-man CC, it's a lot. But the only way I would go for that is if I know one has no flash.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it makes no sense.
yeah.
Yeah, like right now, what does Yahoo do? Like this champ is just a meme now. Like you just don't do anything. Like you have no ult. Like you can't get to them. You should die.
Yeah.
It's not it. And then Bin is ending the game.
Yeah. Alright, that's just game. I think they trying to catch the wave one by one, and that's it. All right, that's game one.
It's nothing to do with that.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts on this one?
I mean, I thought that Weibo here should be like okay with this game, the way this game went. Like they should be like okay. It wasn't a stomp. It was nothing. Like it was chill. And I hope that like this is just gonna like make the whole games funnier. And then it just didn't. But yeah, like here I think so far the series has been good. You know, like that type of thing is
Yeah.
how I felt. And then this is the second draft, and I don't have an emotion about this draft. There is nothing positive I can say about it.
Yeah, I mean, it does
It
feel like teams like, I mean, Jax is a problem in the meta, right? It's like one of the champs that you don't really feel like you should ban. So I appreciate that teams are trying to find counters to it. Like something like Maokai is interesting, but you give the flex away right away, and then you pick Lucian into Syndra. I just don't get the Lucian pick here at all.
I have no issue with the Maokai, but I think if you're gonna play Elise, it can't be Elise Maokai. It just can't. And then if you're gonna play Lucian, I don't know why you would play Lucian in all fairness. But I think if you put Maokai top lane, Kalista Renata bot support, and then a normal mid jungle that gets to play the game, I think the game would be fine.
Yeah.
I have no clue what the job of Lucian Elise is here. And if you have Canyon and you tell me like you can lock in Nidalee here, I think it's fine because I think the way Nidalee works, it like speeds up the game, but it scales really, really well.
Yeah, you can get
So
a
I think that,
marksman and
like,
it scales, yeah.
Yeah, I think like there's a lot of things that Nidalee does. It serves as a poke champ, heal champ. It's very fast on the map. The traps give vision. Like it has utility.
Yeah.
Whereas if you pick Elise, you need to end the game. And how does Blue Team end the game? I don't get it.
Yeah.
At what point do they win?
I mean, I think that like the Zig Syndra picks are just so like, I mean, that's exactly what BLG is talking about. Like they're already like, guys, how do they end the game? Especially if we pick champs like this, you know. Also, I think the Syndra is a decent read on Weibo because Zhao is a legendary Lucian player, but this matchup it just sucks. Like he has to pick AD, and what AD mids are available. Like I would have literally rather seen like Ezreal mid or Zeri mid or anything else besides this Lucian.
If you have seen Xiaohu's AD mid's win rate in the last split, it's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not. I don't think he can play AD mids. I just don't think he can. Like, I agree, his Lucian is famous and everything.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, in the AD carry meta, I agree. Like, in AD carry meta, yeah. Fuck yeah. But outside of AD carry meta, like, in this tournament, once it's gone,
it's been bad.
He played 1 Tristana game, lost 3 Lucian games, 0% win rate, 3 Yone games, 1-1.
Oh, that's rough.
So I think winning one game out of 8 AD games is probably like you shouldn't play AD champs, low
Yeah.
key.
And it's definitely not a Tarzan thing.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Tarzan can play anything. I think that guy is cracked still. I
Whoops.
don't think he's getting disrespect, but I think it's like I think he's much higher level than people anticipate. I
No,
think he's
he's really
definitely like
good. He's really
a
good.
ridiculous player.
I don't see anything here that's worth talking about too much. I think it's interesting
Yeah.
that Maokai did go. I gotta hide my cam. Maokai went for the heals. He went for Revitalize instead of Overgrowth. I wasn't expecting that. Everything else
I mean, Malco
pretty
is
standard.
inherently not a tanky champion is the problem. So even if you go like anything tanky, doesn't become tanky miraculously.
Hmm.
Like it just doesn't do anything. So you have to like play for getting passive procs
Yeah,
and getting CC down. Because you're never tanky. Like at no
yeah,
point are you tanky. Your champion has to have an ability that makes them tanky, and he just doesn't.
yeah. If you don't have Aftershock, you can't get melted. I mean, that's why everyone started running the Phase Rush Maokai, right?
Yeah. I mean, there is Aftershock, and there is also like just abilities that make you tanky. Like now, Leona Double is a good example. It just makes you tanky.
All right. Well,
This lane swap, like this is now here in this game, I think this is like really weird. I have no clue
this
what we're
was
doing.
really weird.
Like
I think
Elise is
some.
not strong level 1,
Yeah.
Lucian is not strong level 1, Kalista Renata is strong level 1, yeah. But then there is a Jax on the other side, and you have Maokai, and best case scenario, this goes like okay. So how is this ever like winning? Like this is just a complete game flip, and the problem is you have a winning early game. Like you should want to have neutral lanes and then go for dragons at 20 minutes, because you have Lucian, Elise, Kalista, Renata. Like you just try to force 4 drakes at 20 minutes, but instead you go for like some sort of an invade lane swap, and now you just can't play the game normally. It's just so weird. And obviously,
I.
Red Team is gonna lane swap away from Kalista, like obviously.
I don't even want to, like. I don't know why Weibo did that.
No clue.
I have no clue. Because I really feel like if you get Elise to level 3 and just walk into wherever you have Prio, which should be the Callisto run out of the lane, like, that's
Yeah,
such
you
a
just have
better
Kalista
play.
Renata and you play around
It's
it.
such a
Like
better
at first,
play. Yeah.
like to me, it doesn't make sense that like you can't stop them from outscaling you. Like that part is not gonna change. So
Yeah.
how do you get the biggest like win con for yourself at the earliest time? And this just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like where's the win here?
I think BLG put it really well, too. I mean, Elk is holding such a good
Yeah.
position. Man, I was really. Elk for me has had a good tournament. I was really impressed with how he played the poke, like both these games on the Ziggs and the Varus. Like he has a really good understanding of where he needs to be.
I agree. I mean, I think Elk is just a crackhead. I think he's
Yeah,
just too good.
he's very, very good.
And then
Anyway.
this dive bin did things. Yeah. I have no clue what this is, but this is League of Legends. I have no clue what this is. Like I can't
um,
explain it.
I mean, I think that Ben plays like Ben and On actually like. So this is all good from BLG. I'm trying to look.
But there's nothing you can do. Like this is like fine. Like it's 4v3. You can never die. And like I don't know how Weibo is supposed to do
I
anything.
don't think Breathe
Maybe.
should lead with W, but I don't see his Q. I'm just gonna assume that he has Q up because I saw him Q earlier. Why does he not Q and then use the W to reset aggro later on? I think that
I don't know.
like the insta W is bad, and then he goes
I
down.
don't
So
like
like
it either.
this for me is the first L, right? Also, Light did take a heated up tower shot, so like then Breathe just gets the shaft and he can't W
It's
anywhere.
just you're just diving without the Kalista hitting. It can't be good.
Yeah,
Like it's the highest
yeah.
DPS champ you have, and it's just not hitting.
I mean, again, Elk with a really nice E to make sure Callista can't hit here. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think Kalista got unlucky tanking tower as well.
Yeah, a little bit. That's kind of why I was thinking about like the breathe Q and W because you can Q to take aggro and then W to drop.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah,
could have played this like a lot better.
yeah,
I still don't think they come out on top basically ever because it's like a 2v3
yeah.
against 4v3 against
Not once
Jax
the TP
Rel.
is invested, and the TP is so good too because like I mean Elk wants to be there, and then like this next wave is gonna be he just gets this next wave in. Oh wait,
Yeah, I
Callista's
don't think
dead.
this hurts them at all.
Okay, well then Callista just has bad conditions. Elk is low mana, but I mean obviously you'll trade that for what happened.
Jax preserves TP, just walks top, catches the wave. Very happy. It's hard to play Lucian against 3 people, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just hate this matchup. Especially if you lose flash like that so early.
Yeah, it's like you lose flash early, you
It's
get
just
your lane
doomed. It's
basically
fucking
frozen.
doomed.
You don't
Yeah.
wait for jungle support. There's nothing you can
Like,
do.
Syndra is so strong if your jungler does not interact. And if you have no flash, it's just so hard to win. And then you just get to be Syndra later on. Alright, so
He
Weibo's
went
trying to get out
for
of this
stun
scenario.
bot Syndra this game.
What's up?
He went for stun bot Syndra this game, if I remember correctly.
Oh, just
Full
taking CDR.
CDR.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he went like Blackfire Torch Cosmic inside CDR
that's
boots.
a good understanding
Stunning.
of his job this game. I mean, he just fucks, like, both Kalista Lucian, you know?
There is nobody that can like survive this
Yes.
damage. Like, who's gonna buy MR? Why does it
Yeah.
matter how much AP you have? Like, they will
Yeah.
die. Don't worry about that. It's whatever. Again, bot open, play for grubs. I like this.
Yeah.
For either team,
This
doesn't
is
matter.
all Weibo can do. It's a good flash for flash trade.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing you can say is that like BLG can just give this technically because this is kind of the only way Kalista Renata wins, which I agree. But I don't think BLG thinks this is that bad, which is why they go for it. Like they think that the gold lead that they have is sufficient to like mask the gap that there is between the comps. Because if the game is even and BLG contests this, I would say they're just bad. Like there is no way you should ever contest this. But with a 1.5k gold lead on certain members, like I can kind of see why you would go for this. I'm not a fan, but I can see, I kind of understand. But then you look at items, right? And then it makes a lot less sense because I don't know like which item made them think that they win this. If you're
Yeah.
BLG.
You just drop this. I mean, like, playing for plates I think part of it is that if they do get first 3 grubs, the Ziggs gets fed as fuck this game, you know?
Yeah.
But again, like, if I look at grubs, it's really only benefits BLG. If you're going into Syndra Ziggs, like, how much do Weibo actually get from taking these grubs, right? Like, it opens up the plays that you talked about later, but I would just sack this and play for the second round and try and make it even, or go for like a 2-for-1 here and not overcommit resources. For me, like, getting a Drake and or a couple plates on Ziggs is worth dropping this if your fight's so much better like 4 minutes from now, which it is for BLG, you know?
Yeah, I think BLG being on top side makes sense to me because you don't really want to trade sides. You will never like deal even like a remotely close amount of. You can cross map it like they will just take your tower top lane for example if you don't come top side. But I don't think you should opt into the fight. Like it's okay to be around here so that like
Yeah, just
Weibo can't
leave Elk
on the
bot.
lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even if you keep Elk here, like as long as you're not contesting the fight, you give the grubs, but they can't overload the lane. It's kind of fine. Because if you put
Right.
people bot and they can overload top, that's what's like you want to avoid. That's fine
Right.
with me. But taking the fight is really crazy to me. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I think that if they just kind of play standard and then like get good lanes and try and play defense after the 3 grubs, it's fine.
Yeah. Because now it's just weird. Because now they can still overload the lane, obviously. Like there's still like 4 people here. You didn't change that part from happening. You just lost a couple of lives. That's all that happened.
Yeah.
In all fairness, Weibo did not get the grubs yet, so.
Yeah. This is a bit of a wasted tempo from Weibo, so I think
You'll see.
BLG
I'm
stalling them
pretty
out's
sure,
good.
if I'm not wrong, BLG ends up getting the last 2 grubs, or I don't even remember this correctly, but I feel like Weibo got like dizzy on the grubs a little bit. They got them like Omega late. Yeah, they're just getting them. Okay, never mind.
It's still late. And
Oh, it's
BLG
so
caught
late.
some big ass waves. Like, I think look at this wave that Bin got.
Yeah, Bill got like a 3 stack.
Yeah, that's a problem later on.
And then you still get the Drake as yeah,
Consolation,
a
yeah.
cross map essentially.
Yeah.
So he gave 3 grubs. The fight was the only issue realistically, where like, you lost all
Yeah.
lives. But realistically, just give grubs, you get fucking. Oh my god! By the way, when that missed, I was like losing my shit.
When
It's really funny.
this Callisto ult
Like,
missed,
huh?
yeah.
But it goes through him. That's so illegal that that misses. By the way, it's actually on top of him. Like that makes
Yeah.
no sense. But
Fucking
sure,
Yordle hitbox.
Zhao is just getting bullied.
And he had Tarzan below him.
I mean, he just went on a flash and he gets hit by max range Skarner ult, I think. Gets a bit greedy with the flash.
No, that blows, yeah. We'll see if there's a replay on that.
Yeah, On can't be here alone.
What the fuck happened here? Oh, that's what happened.
But
Yeah.
I'll just die.
That's right. The
The
handshake was really, yeah, on is homeless here. So I honestly, I don't think
Don't get me wrong,
I don't know if we
dying.
have to
He
give
gets
close to
bad.
300 gold, but I'm like, if he is able to eat this, like this is actually all he can do right now,
I mean, he can't get out either. Is the thing.
Yeah,
They're gonna chase him down like a dog, low
yeah,
key. And like if they're hitting him, they're not hitting the tower. Ziggs gets here closer. So it's kind of like whatever.
yeah. I like
I don't care
yeah.
about my support dying a
No,
lot
like
of time. It's
once Elk
whatever.
goes down, like he is homeless. I unironically am okay with him griefing that.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
No. And this is what Syndra likes. Syndra likes to be able to like push up and just hit plates and like sit in front of your tower. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna notice how good BLG is at deciding what's strong side. Because sometimes when you have like Jax top lane, let's say, or Renekton top lane, and then a mage, people start to think that like, oh, but I should play for the Jax or Renekton. It's just never true. Just play for the mage always.
hmm
The only mage I think you can weak side is like Wei, or like maybe Ziggs Xerath. Like you can maybe weak side these because they wave clear from Narnia. But otherwise, like this is what I want to see. Like just send the people tonight. It's always good. It's an immobile target. We are for sure not exciting him.
yeah. I mean, it is really good that they grabbed Elk twice. Um, like it. I feel like in the last couple minutes, the sequence that Weibo created off the first grubs just ended up being really positive for them. Like they actually had sums down that could speed up the game, but now BLG has all their shit back, so it's kind of on them to stabilize it now. All right, so they can't play top. Really good TP from Knight.
But this is the same thing, by the way, with overload. Technically,
Yeah,
like why defend
yeah,
top? Because you don't want a weak side knight, and Bin can't really like be strong side here. You can't contest grubs, so you just fucking send 5 people and just open up the side. It is
yeah.
what it is. Now, obviously, here it's negative value because you don't have the grubs, but it doesn't matter because if you contested, you would lose more. So might as well.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, how much is 6 grubs going to matter against Zig Syndra? And, like, with Jax with a winning side lane matchup, you know?
I mean, you just outskill like really insanely hard. So like,
Yeah.
even if it does matter, it's never gonna end the game.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, exactly. Like,
like
Ziggs is
600.
already filthy wave clear status at this point.
I'm 600 gold down at 13 minutes. You have 0 drakes. I could not care less. Like
Yeah.
it's unwinnable game for blue team. If you're like 2 drakes now, close to the third and 2k gold lead, I think blue just wins probably. But like this, so hard. And then again, same thing. You're gonna get the bot out there. Get it, bro. It is what it is. Now the problem with the grubs is you're gonna get tier 2 as well a lot of the time. But Ziggs champ does this part and it's so annoying. It basically does grubs.
Yeah.
But it's still good from Weibo. Like this is what I said last time, right?
Yeah, this
Weibo
is good for
so
Weibo.
good at using grubs. They did the same thing last game.
This
Weibo
was
with
my
grubs is so smart.
this was my beef with teams in the Americas tournament, honestly. I just felt like a lot of our teams there did not use grubs like this, versus like, fuck it, play 4 and just go figure it out, you know? Like,
Yeah.
just go into a side lane, you just win, you know?
Yeah. I think again the contestant herald is also really important to know how it functions.
Mm-hmm.
Like because you have 6 grubs, you get herald. That's a big objective, but you can give it, yeah. But for what are you giving it matters. Like if you just give it for free, that's like not a real thing. If you just give herald, I think that's like so hard in most team comps. But this is maybe an odd one out where blue team has like 0 scaling, like literally zilch, like
Yeah.
nothing. So in this game, I kinda don't care if you get it. But for the most part, I think if you can contest Herald, you should.
Yeah,
This game, yeah,
I mean, I think BLG's
yeah.
map was shit to contest it, so I'm okay with this. Like, you're right, there is 0 scaling, but yeah, I
There's
mean,
no way blue team wins. We just through Herald, like how?
yeah,
So it's whatever.
it is really important that Weibo gets that though, because again, like, it's one of the only ways you can break Zig Syndra. My thing is just like, how
Yeah.
much do you get? Like, after this, I mean, the game really just slows down, like, just based on objective spawning and the fact that BLG got a Drake, it got him an extra 5 minutes. Like, I mean, kind of returning like your point in draft, how the fuck do you win the game if you're Weibo here? Because like this Herald is like the last way you can truly play the game fast. Like BLG gets to stabilize everything now.
That's why I think 6 grubs is broken, absolutely, especially if you play it like Weibo does it. But I think if you're this team comp, even if 6 grubs are broken, you just have to go for the 4 drakes. You just absolutely have to.
Yeah. Like,
Unless
you run out of time too fast.
Unless you have an efficient like 6-7k gold lead, like I mean like 4 drakes and soul is essentially like 6k gold lead, realistically speaking. Like that's pretty fair assumption. So I think if you have like soul starting Baron at 22-23 is actually like okay.
Yeah.
Like, you can win the Baron fight pretty easily. But if you're like 1-1 the drakes, you're only 2k gold up, like starting Baron at 23 seems so hard.
I really like that TP from Night Top. Like something I really like that I caught in like one of the coaching comms was was spawned with TL, and like I mean he tells his team like, hey guys, if you got to play fast or like with urgency, like be urgent in
I
comms,
just
right?
TP. Yeah.
Like if you need to slow the game down, like chill out, like you know, like not only like think that way, but like also like communicate that way, like just have that be a part of your core. Like that TP for night, like for me again, if I'm BLG, all I'm doing here is finding whatever way I can to stall out this game. Like just match TP, it's fine. You're Syndra, right? You're TPing at a reasonable spot. Can they get behind you? No. Just go TP, neutralize the play, and then return to like a neutral game where it's fine.
I mean,
Like,
energy breeds ideas. So like, if you are
yes.
overly energetic, over like hyped, then you're gonna look for aggressive plays subconsciously. So it's best to like keep it calm when you're defending
Yes.
and try to be as slow in comms as possible, because there is no urgency when you're behind. Like just it's fine, it's
Yeah.
whatever. But if you're the other team, like you probably should start speaking fast and loud and stuff, because you
Yeah.
want everyone to be looking for something. Because if you're not looking for something, you're just not gonna win this game.
Yep.
I think urgency in comms for Weibo here, for example, is relevant. Like Weibo should be every single person on Weibo should be
Yes.
looking for some play.
Yeah.
Whereas on red team, they shouldn't care. They're gonna be like, let's try to blow like Xiao Flash. It didn't happen.
This
Alright, let's
missed.
get out.
Yeah, this missed.
Crazy.
I like the idea though.
It's so good. He's just dead.
Yeah.
Instantly, he's just dead with his lens.
Yeah. And like if I mean if Xiaohu did flash, then you still do trade up, right? Instead
Yeah.
on
He's
Hesitancy.
he's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like
really unlucky, by the way. That's so hard to miss, Loki. It's like really unlucky that
yeah,
it happens. And this is
it's
something you
not
have to do
good.
against Syndra. You have to get this tower, but you don't get to.
Yeah,
But
they're
yeah,
both
you have
here.
to.
They're way like BLG did a nice job of fixing their lanes when they did drop the Drakes. Like that's a good example of like dropping Drake got them a lot better conditions on the map, and now they just cannot break this.
And they just
Yeah,
need this so
light lost
badly.
both sums. Yeah.
The moment that this tower falls, Weibo starts like breathing again. Right now they can't breathe. Like it's
I mean,
impossible
the
to
fact
breathe.
that that play gets deterred, like I feel like BLG is just ahead now.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
BLG's lanes are so good. Like from that point not working out.
I think that's exactly how BLG felt at that point. I think the
Yeah.
moment BLG saved that, they were like, okay,
Yeah.
I think
Like we got
we
this
win,
game.
guys.
Yeah.
It's
I
probably gone.
really like how they stabilized the last 5 minutes. Like I mean, it's pretty easy, but like they did not give any angles, right? They didn't push any lanes like more than +1, and they only +1 when they had info.
Yeah. I think analytically easy is basically every League of Legends game ever. Like
Yeah.
analytically.
Yeah.
But I think in reality, if you're in the game, it's so much different. to
Oh no,
actually
I mean these
keep
guys
it
are.
clean.
It's if you're playing like good games. I mean, like I played in college. Like I was high diamond for a while. I peaked GM. Like it's different when you play games like this. You know, like
It's too real. Like
it
finding.
is. It's a different game than what you play
I
at
think
home.
being that slow, that passive, like the way BLG is protecting everything on the map, how
Yeah.
aware they are that they don't have to win early, mid, and late game. They just need to win the game. Is so like obvious that they know what they're doing. And again,
Yeah.
like weak side the Jack, strong side the Syndra. Like there is so many consistencies. It's so nice to watch.
Yeah.
Like they just got a little bit of gold. There we go. Dead even. Like they
Yeah.
know blue team needs to start better, and this game is fucking cooked. So. Just get your gold wherever, just annoy them as much as possible, and you will automatically win the game. What I do have beef with is I have no clue how Jun justified not building Abyssal Mass this game. I do not understand how he justified that.
Yeah. I think we need Abyssal Mask for sure.
It just helps so much.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Busio. Busio was building it some games on support, and like I would have been down for On to build it, unironically.
Even then, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. But like, it's like you have a that I would agree with if Jungle was playing something that like Graves.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can do it on Skarner. Like, just build it, man.
Yeah. I mean,
And there is triple magic damage on blue side, I guess double. And then there is only one crit check
maybe
for what is this red doing?
I think his logic is maybe just treads is enough. I mean, that's the other issue with Elise Maokai is like literally at that point in draft, BOG's like, okay, guys, treads game. Like nothing else can break that, you know?
But it's not for your MRs, for denying MRs was really useful from Jun's.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part. And also there is zero crit. Like what is like go Frozen Heart then and slow Kalista down. Like what is Ren doing is gonna do this game? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So happy Night Tip is out. Like very aware.
It's gotta be. I think it's got to be for the active. I will say the one thing with Skarner is that you can use Randuin's active like
the
really
active
well.
is good. Yeah, I agree. This is also
like,
really sick from Weibo again, understanding how important that is, and they can't scale, and they just pull it, and they pull it well. And now it's just like, how can you actually fight? Because you know Knight TP'd out, so you're just trying to force the fight before it. Problem is, you're just gonna die. Like it's just not something you can do in this part of the game.
This is where Rel is so good. Like if you're able to slow down a game like this, like I really like Rel plus mages in a game like this because it's so important when you're playing Rel to use your flash to like have big moments in big fights, right? I had Leona as my most picked in most deaths, which I think Rel is sitting in right now. I just thought Leona would be best support because you can play more so off timers. But voice crack. The fact that BLG like played so quietly and then they get to play on this timer and what they do, I mean, Bin's TP is perfect.
Yeah, but they play this everything. Like they play all this really well, obviously. But at this point, like
Setup's
blue
so
team's
good.
comp isn't even good at like turning. Like it's just so hard to win this if you're blue team.
Yeah, I was down for the Baron. Like I am down for the Baron. You know.
You have to go. You have to go. There's
You
no
have
other
to.
way.
Yes, I agree.
And then you just hope you outplay, and then you just if you
Yeah.
don't, well, life sucks, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, how crucial in this fight is that L gets a reset, by the way, is like so inexplicably like.
Oh, that who gets
If
a
he
reset?
doesn't kill Jax,
That light. Yeah.
If light doesn't respawn, this would be like even more of a wipe. Not that
Yeah.
it wasn't, but
It's still
Bin
like a
dies.
pretty solid wipe.
Oh, it's game ending. Is
Yeah.
what it is. But...
I'm
And
also.
now this is the funniest thing. No, watch this. Now, this is a smiling moment.
I mean, I
Look
love.
at this. No. What is this? Look at this guy. Oh my. And he has Baron, by the way. He used Baron for this.
Oh no.
That is the most disgusting thing I have seen.
I think that's
probably.
grosser than the clip we're gonna see at Dragon later on.
No, but that didn't even matter because his whole
Yeah,
team was dead. He couldn't do anything.
exactly.
But here he was full HP, full mana, reset, has Baron, TPs, ease into 3 people,
Yeah.
and then late flashes and still dies. Oh my!
I mean, he has no ult. There's no play if he has no ult. I just don't get it.
I don't think
He had Tarzan. If he has R, there's a play for sure.
I can see the calling max rage or something, but to 3 people and then flash late is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. Like if he has like calling flash and E, like I think you can play it, but with no R, I think there's no play. Also, Tarzan was like on the way. He was way too early for that. I think that might have been the real idea, is like to lock him in there. But like then why are you Eing in? Like why aren't you just like trying to like fish with W and bait shit out, you know, and play it slow? Like unironically, I could see if he TPs and Tarzan's there. Hold on. Look at where Tarzan's at. So if he actually plays for Tarzan, I actually think it's fine because like again, your logic of they have to play the game now or they lose.
Yeah,
it's
reasonable if he played it slow or anything.
Yes. That was brutal. That was brutal.
Ridiculous.
That was brutal.
But here, I think he caught us straight too much. Like obviously, it looks too funny, but realistically, whether he walks into that E or not does not matter at all. Like,
it did look too funny. For me, the last play is actually grosser. Like it really is.
That's what I mean. That one is because that one actually like also Jun just got stuck in the wall for like 15 seconds this fight.
I will also say I don't know why Maokai went for Sunfire this game. Like with the Fimbulwinter. I mean, and why is he going Visage? Yeah, I mean now he gets Abyssal Mask, but like for me, I think you got to go Visage this game. Because if you go Visage, you might actually be unkillable. You're gonna force pen from Ziggs.
Yeah, you have like two AP targets.
Like you took the Visage point, by the way. Like for me, the only reason you don't go Overgrowth is to get Visage, because you scale off of max HP with Maokai, so Overgrowth is like incredibly OP.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that Sunfire is the worst HP armor item in the game.
Yeah.
And to add up on the, so like I have no.
And like you don't really need the push, because if you go mana, which you have Fimbulwinter, you just double Q a wave and it dies.
Yeah, there's no way it's for push. Right? Like it shouldn't be, at least it never should be for push.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I was an old school Maokai top enjoyer. It's funny because like I've hit every like D1 at like every role at some point, because in my college, like if we just didn't have kids that would play it, I was just like, fuck it, I'll play the role, right? So the when I hit D1 top, it was like season 4, so it was Aurelia, Gnar, Maokai, Rumble, and like Rise. That was the circle.
I was Diamond Master on only utility jump support and jungle.
Yeah.
I just played Sejuani, Nunu, Skarner.
I ended up being the same way.
I know how tank works. That's about it.
Yeah.
But like as far as that goes, but like
I don't know.
Like I could never bother with the carries, but yeah.
Yeah, I played carries until I couldn't play carries anymore, which is usually like mid diamond. And then it's like, oh fuck, we are not that good at the game actually. I don't know. I haven't climbed in a couple years, I think, but it's good to at least like have experience. Yeah, it's at least good to like have been there at some point. I think it does help with like perspective and like feeling like, you know, like in a game like this, like how important it is for Weibo to do something, or else they just lose, right?
Yeah, we also had like internet cafe LANs in like plat diamond,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
not good, but I think that was more important than worlds, like personal opinion.
I mean, there's a
You
lot
don't.
more shit talking that goes on there, you know?
Oh, the amount of like how much
Yes.
people cared to win that was
Yep.
something
I
unbelievable.
played an old like there was a Microsoft Center and they would host league tournaments like on weekends. I'd go like after I had a full-time job. It was fun. All right, Weibo. I don't even know like what they just
They
get
can't
poked out.
contest, but they have to. I mean,
They
they
have
have to, but there's
to.
nothing to do.
It's just they get like Cinder
They're just
Zigs.
getting Ziggs queued off cooldown, then they
Yeah,
get ulted. And admittedly, there could have been some dodging that happens there, but then it didn't, and then that's just it. And then Light
and then
almost goes really
yeah,
crazy, but then he doesn't.
and then Xiaohu
And
happens.
then Jahud walks into the fucking thing. I think the idea, I think when I talked to Rovex was that like, he was saying that like, if he base TPs, actually it matters. Which is like
Yeah,
reasonable. I just don't know if it would swing the game particularly, but it is a reasonable take. Like, if he doesn't actually die there and can actually get the base TP off, then
yeah.
it's not that bad. And it
I
does do anything.
Light Light had a really good tournament.
That crazy guy. I really like
Yeah,
that.
he is very good. And I do not have any error with how I thought Light played that fine. All right, that's game
I
2.
will say I will say also the Chris guy, considering he won worlds and everything, he hasn't really like went downhill. Like the guy is still correct. Like he's
Who?
still very, very good at the game. Crisp.
Oh yeah, Chris has his moments, but yeah. I mean, I personally for me, I'm down. I love my supports that int. Like I have no issue when a support ints. I would rather have you int and then make the play like the big plays, you know, like Chris does.
Yeah, and I think he's also like, yeah, just like he's obviously here at Worlds and everything. He's an elite support in my opinion, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so we've had a couple changes of bans here from Weibo throughout the series. So we had Ash ban game 1. Game 2, they dropped it and found out that you're going to ban Ash on 3 if you're BLG. You probably should have known game 1. And then they banned Yone instead. And then this game, they're going to ban Callista instead.
Well, the Kalista ban I didn't really understand. I know Elk and On can like play Kalista like 100%. I get that
Yeah.
part. But I do think that like I do think there is still like a lot of weird sequences here. Like for example, B1 Yon again when you get hit into the Jax Skarner doesn't make too much sense because I do think that there are answers. Then you pick Maoka as an answer to Jax. I'm like still down, you know. Like to me, it's like okay, you want to play the counter matchup? Let's actually play the counter matchup. Ezreal probably one of the better blinds in the game. The only problem with Ezreal that I have is, well, Yon realistically has only dive and side lane mode. Like those are his only modes. He doesn't actually have like range or shit or like peel, right?
Yeah.
And then Kai'Sa is like one of the very few AD carries that can deal with Yon. And then you're picking Ezreal, which means that Kai'Sa gets immediately viable. So to me, like that was like a really weird sequence that I don't know how I felt about. And then you swap the Maoka into support role instead of putting it top into the Jax. You pick Rumble, which makes no sense against any champion that Red Team has. Like the champion just I just don't get it why. And then you pick the Sejuani, which is something I wanted in the first place. I just don't know why it's with Rumble. Like,
Yeah.
if we had Sejuani, Renekton, Yone, and then like a real bot lane, I think this game would have been like fine. But then you have Rumble, Sedge, doesn't do anything. Ezreal, Maokai bot lane, can't lane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get how you were supposed. Like, it's just dysfunctional in my opinion. It's just so weird how Blue Team wanted to play this game. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it that much either. Like for me, I can see Rumble into Skarner Jax. I think that Rumble does provide some value against Jax. Like at least you have a pretty big window to get ahead and win early. But against the Akali Kai'Sa, it just makes no sense to me. You know?
Yeah, if you're gonna if
It's
they
like
picked
I'd
Rumble
rather
on two,
Kennen.
then I would agree with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, if they picked Rumble on two, I would be like, okay, sure, I get it. Like,
yeah.
you just want to have a strong blind that like works well into Jax Karner, yeah. But once you see the 3-4 and still
Yes.
go for Rumble, I
Yes.
don't get it.
I'd rather Kennen. Which Breathe
I
is
think
really
Kennen
good
is
at.
good, yeah.
Yeah, Breathe's really good at
But I
Kennen.
think Kennen sucks against front lane, which is why he didn't want to. 'Cause I
Yes,
think
yes. They need something that can
Skarner
get through
doesn't.
front line. Yeah, because they have
Yeah,
Ezreal.
that's the problem, and that's
That
also the
yeah.
problem with Ezreal as well. I would go mid jungle top first three and then pick bot lane on 4-5 personally.
Yeah,
Like
I
that's
mean,
how I would play this.
I don't hate the Renekton call you had too, because I like you to get outscaled by Jax, but for me like a lot of Renekton he just scales off of the amount of range in the game, and there's zero range from BLG. Like Renekton gets to interact really well with everyone, and he shits on
Yeah.
Akali.
I mean, even if you get outscaled, like you were getting outscaled
Yeah, you're
every
getting
game,
outscaled
like
either way
you
here.
can win
Yeah.
the game anyway.
Yeah, I'm
Like
with
it's
you.
not
I'm with you.
essentially. But I also don't. I mean, that's the first thing that I don't really like. And then you also have to add nameplates to the situation.
Huh.
And I feel like every single BLG player is on his one trick. Like every single one, other
Yeah.
than El Kaisa, is pretty much on his one trick.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, that's the other like thing that I think is hard. I was okay with denying the Silas from Knight, but the fact that we gave away Jax plus Garner every single game was a little bit surprising to me.
I'm even giving Knight Akali in the like easiest Akali game of all time, where he
Yeah.
has one target and 0 CC on him. Like, huh?
What do you think about taking Brand like in the 2-3 too? Because
On
the
which
bans
side?
were the same last game for BLG and the Jax Garner.
Yeah, I
I'm
know
actually
that
kind of
if they
okay
two
giving it
three
for
it,
Brand.
if they 2-3 it, I think it would be good. Like I think
Yeah,
I
I'm with
don't
you.
know why Ezreal Maokai. I think if you go Yon brand something and then
Yeah.
pick 4-5 AD support, like sure.
Yeah.
But here Akali's job is to sideline against Yon, she's happy. Sideline against Rumble, she's happy. In teamfights, kill Ezreal or annoy Ezreal, extremely happy.
Mhm.
So how does like Knight not perform on his best champion in the game where it's like the easiest Akali game of all time? It's what I don't know. Like he's always gonna perform in this game.
Yeah.
Always. And then
Yeah.
I don't believe in Maokai support ever because
Yeah, that champ is bad at support.
I,
It's
I,
only good
I,
in the Rakan for me.
if you pick Maokai support, you need to know that you're gonna have a champion that is not tanky,
You're just FFing
basically
until you get
doesn't
to
do any
like,
damage,
yeah, you're FFing the
just
game
to
for the
get
first
his
15
ultimate.
minutes. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're just picking it to get his ultimate and
Exactly.
get his E little like thingies. And I think if you
It's
do
not
block a
worth
Maokai
sacking the
support,
jungle pick for Sej at this point. So just pick
yeah.
too early. I'm with you.
And if you do play Maokai support, I think that you should exclusively play it for damage. Like I think you should go fucking Emax,
Dude, okay,
and
low
just like
key,
try to burn people.
my friends are not very good. But low key, I've been playing Leandri's Fimbulwinter Maokai support.
No, but
Like,
it just
yeah,
it makes so much more sense. Like you're
yeah,
never gonna be tanky because the
yeah,
champion isn't tanky and you have no econ.
yeah.
So might as well
It
get the
just
fucking
sucks.
item that does something, man.
Yeah, I'm still for Leandri's Maokai jungle, by the way. I know it's not
Yeah.
popular, but
For
I think it's
jungle, I
still
don't
playable.
care, but
It's still
yeah.
playable for me.
Yeah. It
Um,
is. But on support, 100% you're not gonna be tanky.
shit.
Just buy the fucking
Yeah,
Leandris and
this champ sucked.
level up E.
It sucks at support. I don't know why they picked it. And like, I mean,
I thought it was
what
a
support would
flex.
you rather have here?
I well with Ezreal, I would like. I'm pretty happy to play Alistar usually with Ezreal. But it depends on like that's why I also like don't like the Ezreal as I said.
Yeah.
It's more about where would I replace? Because like if I replace the Maokai on 3, then I would never divide AD carry support like this. I would never pick Ezreal on 2 and then support on 4
Yeah.
5. Like that's really weird. So it kind of depends on how the whole draft shifts. But I think if you want Ezreal, then the obvious answers with Ezreal are like Leona is always good with Ezreal, right? And then the other one is like Alistar because Alistar gets to roam for free.
Oh, I would have slammed Leona and kept Maokai jungle so fast this game. Yeah.
Yeah, you could try to do that. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
there's anything wrong
I'm
with
with
that.
you. Okay.
I'm also really happy with tanks into Skarner. I feel like it's definitely the best jungle way to play the game.
Yeah. Also, treads value again really high for BLG. Um.
And this is like Maokai goes Aftershock because he needs to be tanky, but it's just never real.
Yeah. It's only real if you Q, like, because that's like gets you out of the other CC, you know.
Yeah,
If you
just think
lead
like
with W and like use that to proc your aftershock, you're usually just fucked. Like you kind of need to be creative with your W.
I just think you shouldn't even account for it. I think you should just go
Yeah.
like Comet or Phase Rush and just like try to play max range and never get hooked or shit.
Yeah.
It's just not real.
All right, so we have a match lane swap here. I mean, I like this for BLG. I feel like Kai'Sa Alistar should just win this lane. I will say Maokai support isn't not it like Alistar is actually one of the matches where he can provide some value, but it's still ass.
Yeah, I mean Alistar just doesn't exist level 1.
Yeah.
So there isn't many champions that can like lose into it. But
No,
yeah,
but
like, just
even
do
like
this,
later
get
on,
prio.
like you can trade out his engage to Q, so like you can at least match aftershock, and you have a way to defend against his stun with like slows and your W. So like it is one of the lanes where it's not completely brutal, but I really like the Alistar pick because I think if BLG ever gets a second rotation off in a fight, they just win. I mean that's for me is like what Alistar is all about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're getting a fight where Kai'Sa gets to fight through 2 rotations of spells, then it should be GG. Nice dive. I mean, that's so fucking worth.
I think it's better if Jun dies, but yeah.
Yes.
I think they fucked that
You were
up. I think
100%
WBG
right.
shouldn't shoot either.
Yeah, but I'm so down to trade out of life for this. Like,
No,
yeah.
1-for-1 is amazing.
Yeah,
I just would prefer Jun to
so
die,
worth.
and then it's
Yeah.
so nice.
Yeah, because if Bin's alive, then he can catch that next wave and like Breathe's just behind for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's a good wave state. If that's why Skyner goes back to bot side. The wave
Yeah.
state is too stiff.
I mean, again, like Bin understands so well that sometimes like just your jungler being here like on certain timers is so good. Like if Rumble is allowed to escort this wave in, Jax can really get fucked from that. Like the fact that
Yeah, I
Skarner just
mean,
shows his face saves a lot of Bin's health bar, you know?
Rumble is a very good strong side jump. You should not
Yeah.
ignore it ever.
Yeah.
100%.
I really feel like that was the difference in like and maybe you can speak with this because I mean you had someone that was really good at both these champs, the Cassante Renekton matchup. Well, I really favored Renekton in our region because I thought that in isolation Renekton like just kind of wins and keeps Cassante down. But in LPL or LCK, they were so much better at playing the Cassante side of that matchup because they just had a much better understanding of when the jungler would get involved with timers. Like they just send the jungler up just to like bait out Renekton ult or make sure that like Renekton at 6 like couldn't melt Cassante or like that's like one of the kill windows you had when Cassante like instantly dings 6. Like they'd show up like on the bounce. Like when Cassante like the first bounce, if Cassante gets that bounce in for free after like wave 3, his matchup got a lot better.
In NA, not as much, but in EU, with my
Yeah.
team, we had a joke. Like, how does the Renekton Xante matchup go, right?
Mm-hmm.
We always said that it has a static way of it going. Renekton wins first 5 levels, and then he suicides on level 6, and Xante one-shots him.
Huh, yeah.
Because it happens so often.
Yeah, it
Because
does.
people would just like, I'm bullying Xante, and they forget that level 6 you can't bully him under tower at least, because you will get one shot. And then they just get one shot every time. It's hilarious.
A few moments later.
All right, guys, we're back, and all right, here we go. That's for the VoD. Anyway. So, where were we in this game? We did like where BLG's at. Seeing if BLG gets any, like, second rotation fights is kind of a problem. And I really like the shift up here from Bin. Because I mean, he lets this wave be at, like, a neutral state, and he just walks up, and then just bully off the grubs. Because they play 4-1 for this wave, and they just take 2 grubs. It's really big, actually.
Yeah, I mean, also level 6 Akali in these fights around this area is so funny. Like, she one-shot Sejuani at this point. So.
Yeah, this champion's not okay at this point of the game. Well, what happened here? Oh, Crisp.
I mean, the grubs are out, and now we're just playing to get out. And the only way to, like, basically, like, I also really like this. I think I was analyzing something on stream earlier. Is like the way you should play out the situation. Like, pause here. Is BLG is the one that like we have to understand that the fight would be for the grubs. Like that's what the fight would be for. Now the grubs have died, so if your champions are good at getting out, which in this case you have Skarner who likes people running into him, Alistar which likes people and so on, like you should just actually actively try to get out, and then if Weibo ins, that's when you fight. But fighting after the grubs is just so wrong.
From BLG?
Yeah, BLG after they get the grubs, why would they fight? Like they're just trying to get out.
Yeah.
And you want to invest into chasing me? Then sure, I try to invest. And they do invest, and look, Crisp homeless, just dies. Knight he still has R2. And they're just like they're still playing out. Look, like they're only turning when Weibo runs towards them. They're actually playing out. And it's so nice to see. Whereas in NACL or something, like they would keep turning because they're 5v4. So what if you're 5v4? Just get out. You got the objective. Like what's the fight for?
Yeah.
The objective is gone.
They get to be first on map now and go fight for the Drake now too. Yeah. So Weibo, this is our issue with Maokai, frankly. Like if you have Leona there, I think you can actually like force a fight really hard as Weibo, but with Maokai it's just so brutally useless.
Yeah, I mean Weibo just tries to like mitigate, like leverage, like they just try to salvage the play by getting a kill or two, but they don't manage, and it is what it is. But I really like Beal just like, okay, bye, I got my shit.
I mean, nice gank from Tarzan, but uniquely Akali can kind of play out of the Sejuani really well. So
yeah,
more like
is...
yeah, more reason to play it into Yone. I've definitely, especially if I mean, I will say this matchup really flips if it ends up being Akali plus Sejuani into the Yone. But like it's a good reason to take Kali into Yone, and then this is just a
They're just
brilliant.
camping the shit out of Jiaohu for
It's
the
such
third
a
game
good
in a
walk
row.
from Bin though.
Yeah, it is. But they keep playing on Jiaohu this whole series. It was so nice. Like they knew what
Bin is
Weibo
too
is bad
good.
at.
Yeah.
They banned Aurora whole series, and then they just camped
camp
Jiaohu on
mid.
every one of his
Yeah.
champs, and it just worked. And also they had Skarner, which is like the easiest champ to camp
Yeah.
mid with, but still. Just very good awareness of what's happening. And then we got mid prior, leveraged it to the top, open up bot lane completely, who cares? They either match you or they just lose. So
I don't even care about Skarner going down. This game's like already just so fucked.
yeah. I mean, he dies fine.
It does not matter. Like look at Knight. He gets to get mid in and then just go eat this wave.
Yeah.
And they're gonna play hard in the
they're all
Drake.
gonna open mid
Yeah.
bot. It's just always one lane is open. It's
Yeah.
so nice, man. Like they just know what they want to do. Every time. It's so cool. And again, I will say I don't think Weibo was bad at this either. Like I'm saying,
Yeah,
BLG is
Weibo was good.
Weibo
Yeah.
was not bad at this. It was the drafts, in my opinion, and like obviously individual skill maybe on a lot of fights and stuff. But it had nothing to do with how Weibo moved on the map. Weibo did not move on the map poorly. They were very good at it.
Yeah.
Even now, look again. Open up night lane, play for the 6 grub, play mid top. Okay, what you gave. That's why Rumble goes back bot.
Yeah.
Because you just like saw what's happening. But Rumble can never get dived. So Maokai goes to catch and he has equalizer, so his nose not gonna get dived. It's just nice. Like they're just like aware of what they're doing as well. 3 for 3 grubs means that you can't overload. So even if Rumble opened up top lane there, it wouldn't be good because like the cross map is actually real when you have even grubs. So you can't overload a side. That's why they did this. And yeah, I mean, now it's just the time to like you have nothing, no lead real. So like you kind of just want to chill if you're red team because you outskill. Like you're really happy in this game.
I really like what Jean's doing here, just to cover Ben, make sure that he doesn't get dove. Like the rest of their lanes were fantastic, right? Like he has nothing else that's more important to do than just cover his top laner here.
Yeah, it's 2-2-1 when you're covering dive is really good because like for most parts you just need 2 people to cover a dive. You don't really
at this point of the game, yeah.
You don't really need a third person as long as you're playing 2-2-1 or 1-2-2 or whatever. Like it's always gonna be chill. There is no reason for support and jungle to link onto one lane. We go in now again. We have the Herald fight. Everybody has everything kinda, and this was something that I also reviewed actively on stream. Is like how should they play? What should they do? And yeah, it was just weird. I don't know. I think Red Team should have fought that in my opinion. So I don't know. They had everything up. I have no clue why BLG didn't go for the Herald fight. It doesn't make any sense to me. They had everything. They had a Kali first move. They have every summoner spell. They're 1 item each. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I think they just don't value it, the 3. Because I'm with you. Like at this point, I mean,
the first 2 games it was Kalista Renata, so I get it. Like you're just weaker, so let's just trade. But like, why this game? Like this game, you're strong. You're chill. There's a static shiv. There is a hard steal. Akali is a mega strong, has TP. Like, why are we not fighting this?
I think it's Knight item. I
think
cannot
he's strong enough. I guess Bork is maybe a big deal.
Yeah, I mean that's like that line of logic is like the most reasonable for me. I think it's more so like they just don't like you outscale so hard they just don't need to. I think that's where BLG's head's at.
Do you think they outscale that hard where they can actually like if they drop 3k gold down, I don't think they outscale anymore. The curve doesn't allow it. I think if blue is ahead, I don't think they outscale.
In a way, I kind of think so, just because of how Kai'Sa interacts with this game and like how oppressive 3-item Kai'Sa is. Like for me, they have scaling advantage and like Jax eventually economic victories them. Kai'Sa at 3 items is really oppressive, and Skarner outscales Sedge pretty heavily. So Akali doesn't matter as much for me. Like, as long as they get a 2 rotation fight off, I think they win any and all fights, as long as Elk plays like a human, you know? Like, I think that's where kind of my head's at. Like, as long as they don't fuck that up or eat too much Ezreal poke, they should be okay, no?
Yeah, I don't think there is like a clear one where I'm like, oh, they should like they always lose, right? I'm just saying, in my opinion, Rumble has value, Ezreal has value, Yone has value, Sejuani doesn't downscale. Like you can play every point of the game with blue team. It's not easy, but you can play. I would say Maokai gets outscaled by Alistar like 10 times. That's the biggest skill gap in my opinion. Like I don't know, like Maokai is just not useful, and Alistar is just so useful later on.
Yeah.
So that's the one, but I felt like they're strong enough. But maybe Knight just doesn't want to play it as a level 10 into level 11 into no work.
I mean, the play they make afterwards is still fantastic.
Yeah, the cross map was clean as fuck. It's just there is no wave, so it's like a lot less value.
Yeah.
But Bin will take the tower probably. Actually, nah, he can't. He can just hit it. I guess demolish. Yeah, he can. Never mind.
It's
It's
close.
basically dead.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be first tower regardless. Like one hit.
And that's the other thing that I was just so surprised about. Like, if you're gonna open with a Yone, like, why not deny the Jax? Because for me, again, like Jax, like, it does take away the like I'm Yone and I win late. Because if Jax gets to 4 or 5 items, like you lose that really hard.
Well, the
And
argument
Jax
with
can
that
match for
matchup,
most of the game.
the argument with that matchup is that Jax tends to not build duelist items. He tends to
Right.
build Sundered Sky and Frozen Heart and stuff, whereas Yon builds pure duelist. He goes like Bork, Stride, Shield Bow, IE, like all of those are for him, whereas Jax tends to not build only for him. Otherwise, I think if Jax wants to win the 1v1 and builds for it, 100% he always wins it. Like 100%.
I mean, you
But
just
they just
get
tend to
Frozen
play
Heart
teamfight
third.
Jax.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's teamfight Jax. So.
Yeah. Like, we've seen Sterex, like, really change it. Change the matchup.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. I mean,
I mean,
the fact that...
for free.
Yeah, but that, again, like, they're trading it to get Rumble off the map again. So, like, they
I mean,
really
Knight has
slowed
ult.
Rumble down here.
I mean, Knight had no ult. I would never fight that. Like, this
Yeah.
one I'm completely fine with giving. Like, Akali with no ult, not a real champ. That is completely fine with me. And then this was ridiculous that he hits him over the wall. And this fight, if I remember correctly, Weibo actually did really well this fight. But Xiaohu is gonna do a thing, so his ult is gonna whiff everyone. Wait, what fight was this? One fight, Xiaohu whiffs everyone with the ult, but this is maybe not that. Maybe it's the next
Yeah,
one.
he catches two.
Yeah,
He got Elk.
does
It's
catch
really
two.
nice.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know which fight it is. Let's see. This one is actually gonna be fine. Yeah, this is the one that Weibo wins. Yeah, this is the good fight. Xiaohu hits, and then the TP is like really nice. He puts everyone, forces everyone
Yeah,
into the pit.
Breathe
and then
put that really nice.
Breathe puts everyone into the pit, and Light hits a 5-man fucking through-shot barrage. Like look at this through-shot.
I love this ult.
It's so good. And then after this, they just lose every fight. I'm pretty sure, if I remember the game correctly. But this was actually the only win fight.
The fact that Chris got a Q off, I think, is an oopsie from Ben. Ben should have been channeling this sooner. Because the Q, like, it should be cleaner.
Yeah, I think it was weird. I think he also hit only the front line, which is like hard. But the craziest thing about it is that there is no reason to fight. Essentially, everything is gone.
Oh my god,
So what I didn't know is
ridiculous this fight.
Light, yeah, Light dealt like 4k damage in that fight.
Oh my god,
with just
Light.
Yeah, he did too much. But then you'll see later, the reason why I confused this fight, by the way, is funny. There's the exact same fight again.
Oh yeah.
Like everything goes exactly the same. Xiaohu misses the ult, and Light gets one-tapped by Knight. That's the only difference, which is a pretty big difference. But this is why I got confused. It's the same fight basically. You'll see.
Yeah, this is the one game that I hadn't seen.
I mean, Light is just gonna be like extremely Mandarin Ezreal, like extremely.
Yeah,
Chinese.
I mean, what he did in this fight was ridiculously good.
He's gonna keep doing it.
Oh, he had to hit Qs to get his R back up. Oh my god.
Yeah, he spam Q'd, hit everything, and then the.
I mean,
hits
the
people.
Q on Alkir was the ridiculous one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just.
Everyone's low. You can Q anyone, and he chose the right target and weaves it. You know.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
Like, nuts. Look at
Pretty
that.
good.
4K. I said 4K.
The fact your
actually
split
nailed it,
damage
but
is
better.
Ezreal too is ridiculous. Like that
I mean,
shows how
dealing
much the
4K
ult
damage
did.
as Ezreal with only Triforce, no Manamune is also really crazy.
Yeah. Well, they
Really
get
good
Yone
block by Knight
flash.
to force the flash out.
Yeah. Well, at least Knight's at a better spike now if you are BLG, but
I mean, technically, Weibo is not weak right now.
Yeah,
Like,
no, they
They
aren't.
can win the game. If they get a Baron or something, the game is actually winning. I just
Yeah.
don't know how you do it, but if you do, it's fine. Ezreal is so strong. Leandre is on top. Zhonya's components, if you fight, it's like really good.
Yeah.
Ziggs is high value item. I think Ziggs, by the way, this is so bait that people keep building it on live, but it's nerfed from this patch, so like it's not the same Ziggs.
Yeah,
this
patch it was too good.
Like they have the value of the active, yet for some reason people still buy it. Makes no sense to me. It went from 250 to 150 damage. Like we need to read patches a bit, but yeah. Ezreal is like mega strong right now, but this Akali problem. I mean, Akali is 2 items, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. it is like just because it's Akali Jax versus Rumble Yone, you just have the option to play 3 lanes here as BLG. I think it is like Breathe has gotten camped twice, and I think the Breathe's at the point where like he isn't ahead of the Rumble where you can actually push out. Or like I mean he's even, right? Like with Rumble you want to be ahead from early game. The fact they set Rumble behind those 2 deaths, I think really helped BLG be able to play 3 lanes and really start
Akali
trapping
beats
the
anyone
Weibo.
always, and then Jax beating Rumbles. And this is the fight, but look, Xiaohold. So Xiaohold misses everyone. So look, this is the fight I'm talking about. So this is the fight, and now Xiaohu looks like it hits, but it only hits on.
Yeah.
And then it only hits on, so it doesn't do anything. It looks like it hit Elk, but Elk gets
Also
Alistar killed. He doesn't actually get.
I mean the Breathe ult is following up what he expects. Like it's not terrible,
Yeah.
but it's not on the good targets.
Right, and then before the fight, Light could hit over the wall the whole fight, but now he's forced in a 1v1 against Knight, and Knight plays like this very interesting like levels of Akali gamings, but it is what it is.
I mean the fact Elk was able to be there in the fight is ridiculous in itself.
Yeah, but it's just like Light has to deal damage because he's the strongest member. So if Light doesn't end up doing anything, then this fight is never winning. And if you can see what Knight does to him,
Oh my god!
it is.
I mean the E was good from White.
Yeah. It's just,
Oh, he just got storm surged.
I mean, he got auto attacked, and you can't flash out of an auto attack. I fear.
Oh, he didn't
'Cause the
flash
storm
out of
surge
that
doesn't kill
though.
him.
Like yeah, the flash would have been
Yeah.
that. But it was auto and storm surge. Because that's the
No,
electrocute.
Storm Surge procs off of the kill. Storm Surge is an AoE
Oh
proc, so it procs
yeah,
off the kill.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, you're
But
right.
he would have died anyway. to
Yeah,
Storm Surge.
yeah.
If he was like 1 HP, he would have died. But still, like, this is end of game. Xiaohu does nothing in this fight. They're like Elk is actually out of equalizer. Like that's a lot of funny things so close. Like, Bin and Elk are a millimeter out of the equalizer. Xiaohu misses them by a millimeter, and then their strongest character gets zoned by Knight and then doesn't flash the ult. It's like
Yeah.
so many things.
It's just Baron in that game. Because you aren't gonna come back from this now. Like I think that's what,
so hard.
2 items and a half now for Kaisa. Yep.
Yeah, it's just going straight to AP.
Yep, as the Kaisa should. The Nashor spike on this champion is just not okay. Really nice from BLG again. The get Yone flash.
And they're just camping the shit out of Yon.
Yeah.
Like, Broken did not, like, I think Rovix was joking. I don't think Yon ever had flash in this series. Like, he just kept getting rolled. Alistar champ, man. It's Alistar champ. It's so
He's
good
so
at this.
OP.
And he presses R. Look at him. Blocked 5,000 damage this fight. Enables the tower. 1 kill for mid outer. I'm so down every time.
Really? Okay.
I mean, this is the only thing that lets them play the game, you know? Like, it's annoying, so just get it out of the map type shit. Like, I just don't want to deal with it.
Economic victory time. Woo! We cannot touch the Jax.
By the way, watch this. Watch this. Knight still has second ult, and now watch Light.
Oh my god. Alright, well.
What can you do, man?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think Leona is just infinitely more valuable than Amalkai here.
Yeah.
You can just, I mean, the 5-second Q against this comp would have been really, really OP. Yeah, there's not much else to say about this one, I fear.
I mean, 4-item Akali is just for
and
like on top of shit keeps landing, you know, like they just keep doing things.
You can play the game so fast with Akali too.
The fact that he can chase this down as Akali is also funny.
Oh my god.
And he lands that, of course, because why not?
Oh my god. Alright. Well, that was fun. I mean,
yeah.
Dude, the Knight Silas, like, I think it was the HLE game 3 where the Silas just fucking 1v9'd. And this game ended up kind of being a Knight 1v9 too. Alright, any closing thoughts or ideas when it comes to this series?
When it comes to this series, no, just for any viewer that might or might not be sports related, please focus on how these 2 teams rotated. Like, it is so important because this game was so impressive at how they used grubs and how they mix manage like weak side, strong side, investing people into both teams, even though Weibo lost. Like, if you are an esports player and you actually want to replicate something here, this is like such a clinic from both teams to just see what went right and what went wrong. Because I think if you want to like dumb it down to what went wrong for Weibo, realistically, it's just draft. Like, if you want to dumb it down, obviously other things, but the dumbest reason, like the most obvious one, is just like BLG had a better draft every game. But if you want to actually watch the games, like nobody should say that Weibo is a bad team. Like they obviously did so many things well. That's my closing thought is Weibo got too much hate for playing a very good game, very good series. But then yeah, the draft, yeah,
Yeah.
problematic. That's basically it. I mean, yeah, thank you for having me. It was really really fun. Love chatting, of course. Love getting involved with stuff, and I'm just thank you. Glad to be here.
I'll link your stream in the description for the YouTube video. And yeah, no, thanks for coming on. I know that you're gonna go stream Cyto here pretty shortly, but yeah, that's it for the VoD review, guys. As always, follow ThinUnclePhil for sure. Then subs, likes, comments help the channel out a lot. Follow me over at Cubby XX. We'll see you guys for the next one.